Chang. In Mobile, Omar Jacobs was a star in Bowling Green's victory. And last night, we crowned 2 more bowl champions. Tonight, we end our journey in Honolulu as Hawaii takes on UAB in the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. ESPN's Bowl Road Trip, east to west and home for the holidays.
It might be the most beautiful place in the world, Hawaii, home to glorious green mountains and plenty of space to surf. It's the night before Christmas. In Hawaii, it's Mele Kalikimaka. It's never white and always serene. But there is a business trip taking place. Yes, even on Christmas Eve, as UAB and Hawaii square off at Aloha Stadium. 4-star players looking to the national stage, hoping to provide gifts and holiday cheer for their fans. The ESPN Bowl Road Trip continues tonight from Honolulu. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Aloha from Aloha Stadium, where Hawaii meets UAB in the 2004 Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. UAB making its first ever appearance at a bowl game. They've only been Division 1A since 1996. They started this year 5-1, lost 2 straight, but rallied to win 2 of their last 3 to get here. Hawaii is playing in a school record 3rd straight bowl game. The Warriors won their last 3 to get bowl eligible, including back-to-back wins against Northwestern and Michigan State. It's Christmas Eve in Hawaii, the bowl season, the greatest stage for discovery. Will we find some diamonds in the rough near Diamond Head? We'll find out next.
If you're a Bears fan, there are 2 reasons.
Aloha from warm and sunny Hawaii. On behalf of the Sheraton brand and our parent company, Starwood Hotels and Resorts, I would like to thank you for being a part of the 2004 Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. I know many of you are bundled up for the winter, but as you watch today's game, take notice of the thousands of University of Alabama, Birmingham, and Hawaii fans as they are bundled up Hawaiian style. Come closer to your TV set, and some of the warmth of Hawaii might come through. Hopefully, you too will be able to journey to Hawaii and experience this year-round paradise for yourself. Come and stay in one of our beautiful Sheraton hotels, the best locations on all the best beaches. We look forward to welcoming you to the Aloha State. Happy holidays, Mele Kalikimaka, and please enjoy the game.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Many of you are thinking about snowboarding back at home, but surf's up here at Aloha Stadium as Hawaii takes on UAB. Hi, everybody. Dave Pash alongside our 2 wise men, Trevor Matich and Rod Gilmore. And guys, as you can see the difference in weight between you two. You know, we kind of have the same thing with our quarterbacks here in this game, Rod. Daryl Hackney of UAB and Timmy Chang of Hawaii.
Well, we do. And Tim Chang, well, he's your ordinary sized quarterback, but he's had an extraordinary career. This guy is the NCAA career yardage leader. Well, in addition to that, he's thrown for 113 touchdown passes in his career, but he single-handedly brought his team to this game. The last 3 games, over 1,100 yards passing and 14 touchdowns. This guy is a big-time talent, but he's not bigger than Daryl Hackney. Hackney, 250 pounds plus, at about 6 feet tall. We saw him earlier this year, Trevor, and he threw for 5 touchdown passes in a single game. He's a big-time star. He could be the biggest one on the field today.
Might be, but I tell you, the receivers these 2 quarterbacks are throwing to are big-time stars as well. For Timmy Chang, it's Chad Owens. His nickname is Mighty Mouse. At 5'9", he's one of the shiftiest, most explosive, make-you-miss guys in the country. Part of the fun of watching him is watching defenders tackle air as they try to hit him as he shifts side to side. And you've got Roddy White for UAB, tall, powerful, doesn't care if he gets double teamed. He figures if any defensive backs are fast enough to keep up with him, he'll overpower them going up to get the ball. These receivers are electrifying.
And as we said earlier, it's the first bowl game for UAB. More on how the Blazers have handled their Hawaiian experience. Rob Stone has that.
Aloha, Dave. Yeah, it is their first bowl game, and Watson Brown knows Hawaii is a tough place to travel to and play in, so he called some of his coaching brethren who had made the venture to Hawaii this year to play a game, get some pointers. And here's what they came up with. They flew in 6 days ago, landed in the morning, early in the morning. They went from the tarmac right to the practice field to set the tone for the rest of the week. They kept practicing in the morning, so the players players and the staff could have the rest of the day to enjoy their first bowl experience. But a lot of coaches also said, hey, you might want a band, riding the surfboards and the mopeds. Coach said, let's enjoy the experience. Didn't quite work out the way he planned. One of his redshirt players crashed into a bush this week, needs knee surgery, but coach did not lift the ban, or rather didn't implement or change anything. Let the players keep on riding it. In fact, a couple days later, he saw a Birmingham moped version of Hell's Angels buzz by he and his wife.
Yeah, he was walking with his wife back to the hotel, guys, and he sees all these bikes coming, and then he realizes it's his players. What do you guys think of this? It's one thing to enjoy Hawaii. It's another to take it by storm, I guess, for lack of a better term, as you look at June Jones, who's done a great job here at Hawaii in his 6 years. UAB wins the toss, electing to defer, so Hawaii is receiving. And Brewster will have to take a knee in the end zone, takes his time and then takes a seat. And Hawaii will start at the 20-yard line. The NCAA all-time leading passer is Timmy Chang, number 2 in the country this year in touchdown passes. He gives a hug to his head coach, June Jones. They have been through a lot over the last 5 years. In fact, Chang was benched in this game last year, did not start, but came off the bench and threw for nearly 500 yards in a Hawaii win in triple overtime. And Chang has been on fire of late, 14 touchdown passes the last 3 games. Hawaii runs the run and shoot every play pretty much out of the shotgun, and here's Chang on the run on first down and throws it away. He was outside the pocket and got that ball back to the line of scrimmage, pressured by David Miller. Let's take a look at the targets that Chang will shoot at tonight.
And Jason Rivers will be the complement to the great Chad Owens. There'll be double coverage for Owens, so Rivers will have to shake free, take some of the pressure off.
Rivers 69 catches, 6 touchdowns in the Hawaii Bowl last year, caught 3 Timmy Chang touchdown passes. Second and 10. And Chang dunks it off to the 280-pound Wes Kali'ikipi. He picks up 8 yards before he's dropped. Let's take a look at the offensive line protecting Chang.
Well, we're going to keep our eyes on the left-hand side. Tala Isera has had the flu, which could be a little bit of a problem because he's going to wind up facing a pretty good pass rusher from UAB in Larry McSwain. McSwain has 13 sacks on the season.
First team Conference USA is McSwain. Transfer from Jackson State, was a walk-on, earned a scholarship by his performance in 2004. From the Hawaii 28, 3rd and 2. Chang. Great play by the defensive tackle Shamar Abrams to bring him down shy of the first down marker. The linebacking core for UAB, all seniors.
Well, the strength of this defense is this linebacking core. Zach Woodfin, the best of them all. He will have to cover underneath zone routes. There will be so many receivers running around, and Bobby Keys, number 2, is the best cover cornerback. He will be shadowing Chad Owens for much of this game.
UAB 106th in the country in pass defense. Hawaii number 3 in the land in pass offense. Kurt Milne booting it away on 4th and 1. Here is Reggie Lindsey, an outstanding return man. But good tackling on special teams as Hawaii was all over Lindsey. After just a 3-yard return, Ross Dickerson, a backup wide receiver, making the play. The starting quarterback for UAB is Darrell Hackney, a junior from Atlanta, Georgia. And Hackney and the Blazers will start this drive right around their 30-yard line. 265 pounds.
Can I just circle that right there? I mean, that's something around 265. I don't know if it's 260 or 270, but it's big.
That's 265 before breakfast.
He's Dante Culpepper out there is what he is.
Yeah,
squeezed into a shorter body. I mean, he's strong.
Number 2 in the country in yards per completion, about 16. His passes dropped. He had a man. It was Bradley Chavez, but he couldn't hang on. Well, we talked about Roddy White in the open. Here are Hackney's other targets.
Yeah, he's going to need some help from Reggie Lindsay, number 11, right in the middle of your screen. He's a shifty guy. He can make yards after the catch. He's got to take some pressure off of White.
Lindsay with only 17 catches on the year. They're going to double, triple, bracket, do everything they can to shut down the other guy, Roddy White. See how Lindsay responds. Burns on the inside handoff. Nice move to the outside. Bumped out of play at the 42 by Leonard Peters. Gain of close to 10 yards. Pushing and shoving after the play, which is interesting because Hawaii was involved in more than just a small scuffle in its win against Houston after the game last year.
Well, the problem was that Hawaii was on the visiting sideline but crossed the field to get to the home locker rooms. So the teams had to cross and pass through each other, and they got a little chippy.
I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of that today. These two teams have been around each other all week. A lot of respect. What happened on that play, Aluminium was going at it a little bit with White. You know, they're going to mix it up a little bit, but I think these two teams will play with a lot of character and a lot of poise.
It's Burns on 3rd down and 1, and he has the first down out to the 46-yard line. Peters and Elimimian team up to make the tackle. We talked about the size of Hackney. Pretty sizable offensive line for UAB as well.
Yeah, Hawaii's coach is saying that they're as big as Michigan State's offensive line, led by Matt Batuzik in the middle. They'll be going against Louis Funga, and the Hawaii defense is ranked 117th against the run. And so the interior offensive line of UAB might have a lot to say as to who wins this game, even though we've got outstanding quarterbacks and receivers.
From the 45. Hackney finds Chavez for about 5 yards to the 50, belted by Watson Ho'ohuli. The linebacking core for Hawaii.
In the middle, you see Watson Ho'ohuli, who's actually in there for Ikaika Kanan. They're going to work on him a little bit in the inside. He's a small guy. They'll go after him. That secondary is pretty good. On the left side, Abraham Elimimian. He's the senior who's going to get locked up with Roddy White most of the evening.
Hawaii last in the country defending the run, and not very good overall at 115. There's a rarity. Hackney getting sacked back at the 49-yard line. Daryl Totofi with his 2nd sack of the year.
I'll tell you one thing, guys. We're going to see a good battle all evening between Elimimian and Roddy White. Now, I saw Elimimian on the beach at 7 o'clock this morning. He was sitting there looking at the waves. When I stopped to chat with him, he said, hey, I'm a senior, I'm leaving, and I'm faced up with Roddy White. I'm looking forward to the challenge. And he was focused at 7 o'clock this morning on the beach.
Did he ask you for any tips?
Hey, he told me I was running too hard.
They fake the inside handoff to Burks, and Roddy White is getting free, and there he goes. What a play, Roddy White for the touchdown. Two missed tackles results in a 51-yard touchdown pass to Roddy White.
Yeah, you see, they want to usually get him matched up with Aluminium, but no. This time he's against Moreland, number 10, and he cuts across the field. Look at the ability to run after the catch.
This is the power that we talked about. Even when people can catch up to him, he can outmuscle them, whether it's catching the ball or stiff-arming them, or stiff-arming them twice to score a touchdown.
That's a guy that's being talked about as a first-round pick, Dave.
Yeah, NFL scouts saying late first, early second, but the UAB coaches are saying as people get to see him more, as he runs at the combine, plays in the Senior Bowl, White could end up being a top 10 pick. He's got the size and speed, and we certainly saw the latter on that play, and also some physicality. They block the extra point, and Hawaii is going to try to get 2 points out of it. Elimimian running down the sideline. Elimimian at the 15, and then he fumbles the ball. No signal yet where Hawaii recovers. No, he does not recover it in the end zone. He was out of bounds when he recovered it. Kapanui came up with it, but he was out of bounds, so no conversion.
Wow. Cleanly blocked. Elimimian gets it on the fly. Now he's only about a 4'6" guy. And you see he starts losing a little speed here. They start catching up with him. He makes the cut. Now it's going to get knocked out of here. But watch the end of the play, Trevor. Who gets on the ball? Is he in bounds?
Well, that's the question, because right now it's good. The problem is that Chad Kapanui, number 5, his feet slip around outside, and the official rules that he is grounded outside of the field of play when he recovers the ball.
Yeah, it looked like he didn't have possession of it as he corralled it near the end of the end zone there, the back of the end zone. He didn't have control over it before his feet hit the back.
Yeah, 86, that's the punter, Parker Mullins. He was the one that was the holder, and he just gets absolutely annihilated there.
Now watch the end. Does he have control of the ball before his knees touch the back of the end zone? Does he control it? That's the issue.
Looked like his own man knocked it out. Purcell was in the area, but it may have been the holder, Chang, who knocked it out of the hands of Kapanui, or Elimimian, I should say, before Kapanui tried to jump on it and save it from going out of play.
Yeah. Does he have control of it? Let's watch right here. Does he control it? Left hand on top of it.
Now, his right knee is out of bounds right now. And so...
And that ball, look at the ball right there.
That's right.
That ball's right there.
How about the play? Kenny Patton doing well to keep it as he was falling out of bounds, keep it in play so Kapanui could at least have a shot at it. That was a pretty good play.
Now, we knew we'd have a shootout, but on PATs?
There's more to come. Brewster at the goal line. And he does well to hang on to the ball and gets out near the 27-yard line. Well, a lot of people are comparing Roddy White to Terrell Owens. Remember, Owens was a third-round draft choice. There weren't as many people as high on Owens as there are on Roddy White.
Watch what he does here. A little zone coverage. Slants across the middle, crossing route, wide open, great speed, and then the ability to run through arm tackles. That's yardage after the catch.
Yeah, he's 6'3", 210 pounds. A lot of tensile strength, a lot of football power in his body.
Hawaii with its second opportunity on offense. And Peters was out of bounds, but they did not call it. He was out of bounds, came back in and caught it. And he's going to race for a touchdown. He was out of play, though. Rivers was out of play.
No hat was thrown.
74-yard touchdown pass, but it should not have counted. Watch Rivers here.
Well, if he gets forced out of bounds by Will Evans, then he can come back in. That's why this is a legal catch.
Absolutely. If he had gone out on his own volition, they would have thrown a white hat. But it's not like the NFL rule.
Right.
This is a college rule. He can go out if he's pushed out and then come back in, as you mentioned, Trevor.
But I'll tell you, the question I have is, did he establish himself back in bounds before he caught that ball?
And it was hard to see as he was coming down this sideline before the throw by Chang whether indeed he was pushed out, but obviously the video replay showed that he was pushed out.
I guess we're just not going to get a chance to catch our breath at all. It's not going to happen tonight.
No adventure on this extra point as a yacht pokes it through. One play, 74-yard drive. You wanted offense? We've got it for you. Merry Christmas and happy holidays from Hawaii. UAB blocked extra point. Then one play later, Hawaii with a touchdown. Extra point is good. Was it a touchdown? We're going to take another look following the kick. Hard to say. Rivers was pushed out, but did he establish himself in the field of play before he touched the ball? We'll show you that after a yacht kicks it away for Hawaii. We thought, guys, it was going to be fun. I don't know if we thought it would be this much fun this early.
Well, this is the first time I've heard both coaches say essentially the heck with defense. We're just going to try and outscore the other guy.
Lindsay at the goal line. And he's out to the 20 before he's squashed. Let's take another look at the touchdown by Rivers.
Now he'll get forced out of bounds by number 13, Will Evans. Because of that, Rivers can legally come in. He's out of bounds right now. He can legally come back in and catch it. But look, he jumps in the air from the white stripe. He has still not put a foot down. He's caught the ball. And when his foot comes down, that's the first time he touches in bounds. Look, he jumps up in the air out of bounds. That's where he started. And now he comes back and lands
two officials right there. Two officials right on it. And they must have believed that he was back in the air in bounds. Now you should establish by getting a foot back in.
Hackney finding Burks out of the backfield. Nice move. And Burks is near the marker at the 30-yard line before O'Hooley makes another tackle. We knew we'd have fireworks in this game between these two schools, and so far 2 pass plays for touchdowns 50 yards or more.
This is not a game for linebackers. They need not be on the field.
And if you're a DB, you better get pretty good at shaking it off. Burks into the secondary and just powering his way for the first down to the 41.
I say it's not a game for linebackers because linebackers don't like to play in space. They like to be near the line of scrimmage, have people around them so they can make tackles. When you play in space, you've got to be quick, you've got to have lateral movement, and when you're spread out like that and you're a linebacker, you're vulnerable.
From the UAB 41, first down and 10. Hackney. Chavez is free across the middle. To the 35-yard line.
Well, Roger, talk about linebackers. You know who was chasing him was number 55, linebacker Watson Ho'ohuli. That was great recognition by Daryl Hackney to find the mismatch. Find the wide receiver on the linebacker and go there.
Gain of about 25. Ball now at the 34 of Hawaii. Here's Burks. Again with a running room against the worst rushing defense in the NCAA. He gets about 9 to the 25.
You know, considering how prolific Hawaii's offense is, one thought would be you'd run the ball if you're UAB to keep that offense off the field. And plus, they have a size advantage up front. But they really didn't feel they were going to try and do much of that in this ball game because they felt it would be kind of a shootout. And they really couldn't just settle in and run the ball on these guys all evening.
Well, Watson Brown told me at Wednesday's practice that he didn't think he could score enough points by running it exclusively and eating up clock. They'll run it, but they also need to participate in the aerial shootout.
Quick hitter to Burks, and he has the first down to the 22. Dan Burks, third team Conference USA, played high school ball with Watson Brown's son, Stephen, in Birmingham.
Well, one of the reasons that Hawaii's defense is ranked so low, dead last, is that in spring and summer practice, when you do most of your heaviest hitting, they practiced against an offense that runs the run and shoot. They don't get that heavy pounding straight ahead practice when it's most critical.
Another inside handoff to Burks. And this time, Hawaii is there defensively. Matt Fonga hit him first. Kila Kamakaviva Ole hit him second.
You're talking about a rush defense. Fine play there, but a rush defense that's been last in the NCAA. There you see it there. 259 yards a game allowed on the ground. And That's one of the issues with the run and shoot offense. There's a perception that it makes your defense soft, as you mentioned, because you don't practice against hard rushing teams in practice.
They've given up 39 rushing touchdowns this year, second most in the country. Here's Hackney to throw. Finds Chavez, who swims his way to the 5 for about 17 yards. Purcell on the tackle downfield.
One other thing, Trevor, about this defense, they don't hit anyway. They don't hit a lot during the season. And this is an NFL-style practice that June Jones runs with his team. And they probably had their last live tackling drill maybe like 2 months ago.
Yeah, they did, and that's partly because of philosophy, but partly because of injuries. This defense has been decimated by injuries to key starters this season. That's contributed as well.
They go with 3 running backs on first down, and it's Burks. And he is in. Touchdown, UAB. Cornelius Rogers, the left tackle, with a great block to spring Burks for the score.
Here's Cornelius Rogers, number 70. And that's a terrific block on Kamakaviva Ole.
4th rushing touchdown of the season for Burks. Now, the last time Hayes tried a PAT, it was blocked and almost returned for a 2-point conversion. This time he puts it home. An 8-play, 80-yard drive. 2 minutes and 26 seconds. Hackney with a couple of big throws on that drive. It sets up a rushing touchdown.
ESPN's presentation of the 2004 Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Brought to you by Sheraton Hotels and Resorts. In Hawaii, all the best locations on all the best beaches. And in part by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And Aflac. Ask about it at work.
You can almost smell the flowers from here, aesthetically pleasing as it gets in this great country and world here in Hawaii, even under overcast skies. But the sun is always shining on Rob Stone.
Oh, Dave, that's going to win you an Emmy. That's a good one. Hey, UAB head coach Watson told us yesterday, Watson Brown, that we need to get out to a quick start. That coupled with the fact that Hawaii has had kind of a tradition this year, guys, to slowly get themselves out of the gate. Well, UAB got that fast start. Obviously, 2 scored their first 2 drives. However, it kind of woke up not only the Hawaii team, but the Hawaii crowd as well. So they are back into it as well. And something Watson Brown said to us, guys, which is key. He's noticed through the tapes that the opposing teams on the road in Hawaii seem to kind of fatigue hardcore in the 3rd quarter. He thought it was very important to keep his team fresh, changing a lot of players so they can be strong for that second half. But both teams have spent a lot of emotional energy already in the opening minutes of this first quarter. We'll see how it plays out.
3 touchdowns already scored, 2 by UAB, 1 by Hawaii. And the NCAA all-time leading passer, Timmy Chang, going to work, but a running play here. But Kali'i Kipi goes nowhere, dragged down beautifully from behind by Jermaine McElveen.
I think the other thing that is worth noting, if you take a look at the key plays already in this first quarter, Roddy White, big time, across the field, yardage after the catch for the first score of the ball game.
Yeah, there's no slow start there, but then a blocked field goal. Or blocked PAT, I'm sorry. And then Jason Rivers on a controversial touchdown catch.
And then Burks with a rushing touchdown to make it 13-7 UAB. Was Rivers out of bounds or was he in bounds? We'll see if that touchdown is a factor at the end of this game. Britton Colmine out to the 23 for a handful.
Now let's go back to what Rob Stone was talking about. The other interesting thing about that fast start is that Watson Brown told his team that whether they get up big or get behind big, this game is not over, because Hawaii has had a tendency to get back on teams. They throw the ball so well, both teams do. They don't really salt away the clock. They don't run the ball so well that they take the clock out of the game and really make a lead stick up.
In the last 2 games, Northwestern led 13-0. Michigan State led 21-0. Hawaii came back to win both games. Chang finds Chad Owens for the first time, and Owens, the terrific All-American former walk-on who earned a scholarship, is out to the 35 for 12 before Dominic Cosper makes the tackle.
And Rod, part of the home field advantage for Hawaii is the heat. Now, Chad Owens, doesn't matter whether it's hot or cold, he finds a hole in the zone, and it's actually very good tackling. It's very difficult to bring him down in the open field. But it's been cool and overcast today. There's a cool breeze. UAB is wearing black jerseys. The fact that the sun is not beating on them is a huge advantage that the weather has given them.
Chang under center on first down from the 35. Homine with his second catch. Another former walk-on for 9 yards to the 44. Nigel Eldridge on the tackle. Well, it's been raining off and on for the last 3 or 4 days here in Honolulu. Mostly cloudy right now. We've had a little bit of rain here today.
Hasn't bothered either quarterback. Both quarterbacks 5 of 6 in completions and both over 100 yards already.
Second down and 1 at the 44 of Hawaii. Chang has a wide open Owens. Can anybody play defense? Owens finally brought down on a play inside the 5.
What a terrific read by Timmy Chang. Owens is going to go down the middle. He's going to go right through here. Now you've got... Now there he is, right in the middle. Now, the closest guy to him is number 59, Nigel Eldridge. That is a linebacker. And because the safeties had split out to cover the deep routes up the sideline, the only guy left to cover the middle was a linebacker, and there's no linebacker in the history of the world that can keep up with Chad Owens.
A basic principle of the run and shoot is always to put pressure on those safeties, and they did that. A 2-deep coverage, they put pressure on them with 2 guys running deep routes.
There's actually a guy 5 yards deeper than Owens who was more wide open.
Yeah, Chang had his choice.
Kali'i Kipi just hammering Will Evans, the corner, into the end zone for the touchdown. UAB coach Watson Brown said, we need to start fast, and we will. Hawaii with a couple of quick touchdowns as well.
Well, you know, you think they're a finesse team. There is no finesse right there. That's the big bruiser at 280 pounds. That's West Kali'i Kepa, who just really banged his way in there.
He weighs 100 pounds more than Will Evans. Will Evans was in a no-win situation.
June Jones thinks Kali'i Kipi will play in the NFL as a 260-pound fullback. A yacht with the extra point. Hawaii by 1. 6-play, 83-yard scoring drive. 2 minutes and 47 seconds. The pass play to Owens, the big play. Kali'i Kipi, the big back, bruising for the touchdown. Hawaii by 1.
To Hawaii, a high-scoring affair. You're seeing a lei, a very noticeable facet of the Hawaiian culture here. A lot of history to leis. You know, different flowers represent different leis. You have a wedding lei, you have a family lei. And one of the ways, Dave, you know how you're supposed to present it, don't you, right? Both hands over the shoulder and the neck of the person you're giving to. You have to give them a hug and a kiss. And Rod, you did this to me yesterday after you gave me I gave you one. You took it off in front of me. You can't do that. You can't take off the lei in front of the person who gave it to you. It's bad culture.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the kiss, not taking it off.
No. We don't talk about that on air.
Well, guys, Hawaii has painted a flowery picture this season at home, winning 6 straight, 7-1 at home. They're a different team, 0-4 on the road. And we did a game at Boise where they lost 69-3. They lost at UTEP 51-20. And at Fresno 70-14. Yet they beat everybody here at home, including 2 Big Ten schools, Northwestern and Michigan State, as Lindsey takes an 8 yards deep in the end zone. They are scoring 24 points per game more at home than they are on the road.
And the crazy thing is, when you break down the film, is that road teams aren't doing anything different to them. The same guys that are open at home are open on the road, but the quarterback doesn't get him the ball always. The same guys that catch everything at home are dropping them on the road, and it's inexplicable. Nobody knows why this is happening.
I think it's a big factor. When they go to the mainland, you know, they are trying to catch up 4, 5, 6 hours. That's harder to do.
It is for an afternoon game, but a night game, they should be okay.
Guys, we're on pace for about 2,000 yards of total offense. We've got 313 already. Hackney going deep for White, overthrown. Got hit as he delivered by Malila Purcell, and there's a penalty flag now downfield after the play.
Yeah, he got Roddy White. He pushed Elamimian at the end of the play. And Elamimian was doing a good job of staying with him. And White just kind of lost his composure at the end of the deal.
We have a Pac-10 officiating crew. Jack Bolliard is our referee.
Now watch the in here. He's got him. He's right with him. Talking a little smack probably. And then he baits him into it. That's a smart play by a corner. You know, he gets his arm in there a little bit, gets away with it, a little bumping down the field. That's all right. And then a little bit of talking right there. A little talking to bait him, and he does.
Well, you know, they talk about the comparisons between Roddy White and Terrell Owens, and both of them have a lot of competitiveness and a lot of attitude.
This draft is not seen as good of a draft at the receiver position as it is at some other spots, which gives Watson Brown the feeling that a guy like White could sneak into the top 10.
Yeah, the running back spot is really deep in the draft. Wide receivers, not so much.
2nd and 20. Hackney finding Lindsey. Pushed out at the 15-yard line. Gain of about 5. Christmas night, the Denver Broncos trying to stay alive for the postseason, taking on the Tennessee Titans. That's Saturday night at 8:30 Eastern, and then the Browns and Dolphins Sunday night at 8:30 Eastern. And you know, we talk about passing. Hackney and Chang lighting it up today. Billy Volek for the Tennessee Titans has passed for about 900 yards the last 2 games, and the Titans have lost both games.
And what's going to happen with the Dolphins? Is college football going to lose Saban? Nick Saban heading to the Dolphins, maybe?
Well, he's never going to get as much control, perhaps, as he would there. Wayne Huizenga willing to give him everything. So movement on 3rd down and 14, penalty flag. Looked like the left tackle. Rogers moved first.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Snap, false start on the offense, number 25, 5-yard penalty.
Trevin Rod, if you're Nick Saban, you've had everybody come after you. It's the Miami Dolphins. How do you turn it down?
Well, you always want to measure yourself at what you consider to be the top of your passion. And there are some coaches that want to stay in college because they love the college game, but others would like to take it to the NFL and see what they can do there. It's not necessarily a matter of money. When you're making $2 million a year anyway, you know, you can only live in a house with so many rooms. But it's a matter of measuring yourself.
Well, if he believes that he's better suited for the college game, he'll stay a while longer. I think it's that simple.
The man you just saw moments ago, June Jones, knows about that. Coached in the NFL and decided to come back to college, coaching at Hawaii. Hackney's pass just a little bit too wide of Lindsey, and UAB will punt.
Punt?
Well, you know, that series, what do we have? We had 2 penalties. I think that's the way you're going to see defense tonight. You're going to get penalties or turnovers. Otherwise, I don't see how anybody stops anybody else.
Well, UAB's defensive coordinator, Wayne Bolt, told us that you don't really stop one of these kinds of offenses. You've got to hang
hope
in.
to contain them?
And then hope that they have penalties or turnovers. Maybe a drop pass, let them stop themselves.
Is it that bad? Is that what defensive football has come to?
Parker Mullins.
It's always been that way, Rod.
They almost get there. Chad Owens, who has 5 career punt returns for touchdowns with great balance, and finally gets belted at the 46-yard line by Wainwright. Good field position for Hawaii when we come back after a 47-yard punt and only a 2-yard return. It's the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl in Honolulu.
I'm here at my favorite neighborhood ahead.
Back to the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Hawaii consists, I don't know if you guys know this, of 137 islands within 6,432 square miles from east to west. Hawaii is the widest state in the United States. That is something we were not aware of yesterday. I feel like Cliff Clavin, all kinds of useless information for you guys.
Including the only state that grows coffee. If you didn't know that, now you do. So if you want good coffee, come to Hawaii.
You think he drinks coffee?
I could use some decaf.
Way too much coffee.
You could use some decaf.
We have not had decaffeinated offenses here in this game as Welch makes a juggling catch to keep it going on offense to the 46 for about 9 yards. Darius Taylor made the tackle for UAB.
Well, Tim Chang has really been a rock star in Hawaii since high school. I mean, he was such a great player. Threw for over 100 touchdown passes in high school. He had his choice of colleges to go to, and his decision to stay home really pleased people around him here and just made him just so much of a star. And he's been the focal point of everything since he was about 16 years old around here.
And Chang will have a 2nd and 1 at the 45 of UAB. Here's Rivers, who scored the touchdown earlier. He has the first down before he spun down at the 41.
Well, Dave, you guys are talking about home field advantage here for Hawaii. This is truly the state's team. Coach Jones told me today, and he used this word ohana, which means family, to describe the partnership between all the islands and this football team. When the team wins, he told me the whole state is upbeat, from hotel workers to cab drivers to players to students. These kids are playing for more than just themselves, but for the whole community, as a symbol that the islands in every way is just as good as the mainland.
And a lot of big-time schools in the mainland are coming to Hawaii and getting players. You look at what Urban Meyer did at Utah. A lot of those players are from Hawaii, and they're in the BCS Bowl. Here's Rivers to the 29-yard line. A 12-yard pickup and another first down. Thurman Pearson on the stop.
Well, there's a real connection between the culture here. As a matter of fact, these markings on their uniforms are representative of Polynesian royalty, and a lot of players have tattoos like this anyway. And so June Jones wanted that connection. They changed the name from the Rainbows to the Warriors when he first got here, and he has connected so much of what is such a big part of the cultural lives of these players and incorporated it into the program.
And he is winning 3 straight bowls. First time that's happened in Hawaii history. 4 bowls in 6 years since Jones took over. Chang has a wide open man. Welch for the touchdown.
Well, it starts with protection. He's got all the time in the world to survey the field, and there's a lot of space in the middle of that defense, Rod.
It's like stealing right now for Tim Chang. It's so easy. He sees everything out there.
Extra point is good to make it an 8-point Hawaii lead. Flag down after the play, pushing and shoving again.
Well, Tim Chang is going to see a 3-deep coverage here. He's going to know right away he's got 2 guys threatening down the middle. Look at all that space there. He saw the 3-deep coverage. He saw the safety to the left. He had room on the right. You can't fool Tim Chang with a 3-deep coverage like that.
Not when he has that time. 3 deep, and he looked 3 different directions. He looked all the way to the right sideline, back to the left sideline, and when he settled on the middle, he said, aha, I got it.
Well, he's seen 3 coverages. He's seen a 3-deep. He's seen quarters, basically 4 guys playing deep, and he's seen cover 2.
Personal foul on UAB.
The one thing Tim Chang has not seen is a blitz, and they haven't brought it. I don't know that they will bring it because they're afraid they can't get to him anyway because he's got such a quick release.
That's one of the things that June Jones believes the NFL will like about him when they get to see him in combines, how quickly he gets the ball out. And Watson Brown is so frustrated right now. It's one thing to have to stop or at least slow down this offense, but when you also add to it penalties, it puts you in a difficult position.
Yeah, June Jones was worried if Tala Acera, the left tackle, was sick, that he may not be able to do a good job on Larry McSwain. McSwain has not been near the quarterback at all today, even though he has 13 sacks in the year. And there he gets a penalty. Looked like it should have been maybe against Hawaii, but they obviously got the retaliation. Michael Lafaele just slammed down McSwain, and McSwain, frustrated by a lot of things in this game, can't get to the quarterback and then getting drilled after the play.
Wait, didn't your mother always tell you that? I mean, you know, the second guy gets seen. You're the one, you hit back, you hit your sister, hit your brother back, you get caught.
Actually, my mom told me that if you get hit...
What, do what you want?
Actually, my mom never said that. My mom is a sweetheart.
June Jones also knows, guys, that even though his team leads by 8, I mean, we got 4 minutes left in the first quarter. UAB could score 3 more times before the end of the quarter.
How would you like to be a defensive coordinator in this game?
Well, you just saw Wayne Bolt walking up and down the bench, screaming at his defenders, as that kick goes about 15 yards out of the end zone. And Bolt, the defensive coordinator for UAB, has had a lot on his shoulders this year. Defensive coordinator, inside linebackers coach, and at one point defensive line coach, as he took over for a guy by the name of Pat Donahoe, who was the D-line coach but was suspended indefinitely after marijuana possession charges. He was suspended by head coach and athletic director Watson Brown. He's both at UAB.
And it was tough on Brown. I mean, he's friends with Donahoe, but Donahoe had to leave the program, and that put a lot of pressure on all the coaches, and they lost a couple of games when that happened.
Play fake for Hackney. And his pass caught by Lindsay, nearly picked off by Tanuvasa Moy in the arms of Lindsay. After those 2 losses, Watson Brown made a change and went with an offensive line coach, Rick Christoffel, moved him to defensive line, which allowed Bolt then to concentrate solely on coordinating the defense.
Well, he was frustrated because they lost 2 games, and in those 2 games, they gave up more than 1,000 yards and more than 100 points. And everybody knew something had to change. And obviously, Bolt was being stretched too thin.
And after Donahoe, as we have movement on the line, was suspended indefinitely, he came in then and eventually resigned. He's been telling Watson Brown he would love to get back into coaching, and Brown would like to see someone give Donahoe a second chance.
Well, he was exceptionally popular.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 80 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Cedric Hampton, the tight end.
One of the effects of not having Pat Donahoe there for the defensive line and Wayne Bolt being spread so thin was that the defensive line effectively didn't have a coach, no one to go to talk to keep them practicing efficiently. And when they gave up all those points and all those yards in those 2 consecutive losses to Tulane and South Florida, the defensive linemen didn't even have somebody to rotate them. In previous games, the starters averaged about 38 plays a game. When they went back and looked at the tapes, they averaged about 60 plays each. In those 2 losses, they were getting worn out, and Watson Brown knew he had to right this ship because they were starting to become finger-pointing and things were starting to fall apart.
Well, that team was 5-1. It was in the top 25 BCS standings. Everybody was talking about UAB in Birmingham. Then they lost 2 in a row, and Watson Brown was faced with a challenge of keeping guys focused and not pointing fingers, and he did a great job. Timeout by UAB. It's first timeout.
Wayne Bolt didn't sleep for about a month. We caught him on the first game. The TCU game was the first game that Pat Donahoe wasn't there, and he told us that he hadn't slept all week because of all the additional duties. And then 3 weeks later, for goodness sake, there was even less sleep.
Well, there's been some tumult at UAB and also at Notre Dame. The Irish looking for some redemption in their bowl game against Oregon State. The Insight Bowl Tuesday, 9:45 Eastern, all part of Capital One Bowl Week on ESPN and ESPN2. Also available in high definition on ESPN HD.
Are we still in the first quarter?
Yes, and we fought 4 hours for game time. It's been about 52, 53 minutes here in this first quarter.
Bob Davies said before the GMAC Bowl between Memphis and Bowling Green that might be the highest scoring bowl game of this bowl season, and that was a good call on his part, but we might have a shot at beating it.
Oh, a shot, you think? You know, we were around the hotel, and some of the UAB players were saying, we're going to score tons. We're going to blow that game out the water. I don't think they were really anticipating that Hawaii would match them.
Tim Chang with 10 out of 11 passing, 215 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's got 16 touchdowns in the last 9+ quarters. It's unbelievable what he's been doing of late.
And against good teams, Michigan State, Northwestern, UAB.
Back to action. And Hackney's going to get sacked for the second time. And again, it's Tautofi, a backup defensive tackle. His second sack of the game, had only 1 in the first 12 games combined. Another penalty flag down on the far side in the defensive backfield.
Prior to the snap, delay of game on the offense. There was no play, 5 yards, still second down.
Well, Darrell will have to wait another play for a chance at a sack.
Well, Tautofi comes up the middle, the number 37, Abraham Elamimian, the cornerback, comes as well. And when you have a Roddy White, there's 37 on the left. When you've got Roddy White out there, you expect the best cover cornerback to be in coverage, and that was very unexpected. Good adjustment by the Hawaii Warriors.
Yeah, but you see that? 2 guys trying to take the big fella down. 260 was not an easy job.
So 2nd and 12. They bring the blitz again, and a flag down. Hackney's down again. This time it's Chad Kapanui with the sack.
And how about George Lumpkin, defensive coordinator? He says enough of this sitting back and being picked apart. We're going to go after the big guy.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 11 offense, 5 yards, still second down. Would the clock operator please reset the clock to 2 minutes and 51 seconds.
There's Lumpkin. He just decided that he would use his team's quickness and they wouldn't sit back in the zone. He's going to roll the dice a little bit now after seeing what they can do against the zone. He's kind of turned it loose.
Yeah, and 2 consecutive plays, he blitzed defensive backs from the edges. Darrell Hackney is not expecting that.
6 penalties already against the UAB. Back-to-back penalties gives Hackney a 2nd and 16. A screen. It's White. And White is out near the marker and lowers his shoulder and just hammers Kenny Patton, the defensive back, and picks up the first down.
Well, that's where those penalties actually helped them. It would have been 4th down on that second sack. Instead, they get a shot because of the penalties.
It's the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl between 2 high-octane offenses, and neither is disappointed. Dave Pasch, Rod Gilmore, Trevor Matich, and Rob Stone. 34 total points. And 220 yards for Hawaii, 179 for UAB. It's going to take me a little bit longer to do the math on that. Right around 400.
Good, very good.
And we've got 2:42 to go in the first quarter. And Hawaii has called a timeout, so each team with the 2 timeouts remaining. And a first down for UAB at its 32. Norris Drinkard on the inside handoff. Drinkard feasting on the defense for Hawaii, picking up about 17. Leonard Peters on the tackle.
Well, this is a huge hole that gets created here. You see the movement. They pull, they get into the outside, and look at that lane there. There's not a second level guy coming up to close that hole at all. And Drinkard just cruises right through it.
Julius Wilson, the right tackle, with a big block to the outside. Good kick out there to clear the lane. try it again. Still gets 4 yards, not 17, but 4, which is still not bad for a running play. Purcell on the tackle.
And this drive is good for the UAB defense. It gives them a chance to rest. I don't know that they could stay with this pace. You know, we saw them take yesterday off to kind of get their legs. But on the other hand, Hawaii, they had a spirited hour and 45-minute practice yesterday.
And they weren't hitting. They were just shorts and shoulder pads, or shorts and helmets, no shoulder pads. But they ran and ran and ran in practice yesterday.
On 2nd and 7. Hackney through the hands of Chavez, incomplete. Well, we've had some extracurricular activity so far in this game. Watch the drama unfold Christmas Day. Speaking of extracurriculars on ESPN and ABC, 2 very anticipated NBA matchups. The rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Finals, and of course the brawl between the Pistons and Pacers, and then who knows what may happen between Shaq and Kobe when the Heat and Lakers meet Saturday 3 Eastern on ABC. Jermaine O'Neal will be back, by the way, for Indiana when the Pacers meet the Pistons, and Shaq's Heat has won 10 in a row.
Is Shaq okay? He's going to play?
Yep. And the Heat right now has the best record of the Eastern Conference. Flags down. Hackney. Pass just underthrown a bit, incomplete. But again, penalty flags in on the play. Jamarian Moreland had good coverage on Lance Rose.
You talk about Shaq and Kobe. I want to see Kobe drive the lane the first time. I hope he's got a good dental plan.
You're just instigating. You know that?
No, I think Kobe instigated it is what I think. It just depends on what Shaq wants to do.
Offside, number 10 on the defense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
I think Shaq's too classy for Kobe, to be honest with you.
Well, a lot of people think so. But I'll tell you what, classy is one thing. Depends on what he wants to do when he's got a shot at him underneath.
Make sure you spend Christmas Day at some point watching both of those games. You know, we have all these reality TV shows out there. How about those 2 games tomorrow? Pistons, Pacers, and Heat, Lakers.
All right, I'm watching.
On ESPN and ABC. This game may not be over by then, though. Started on Christmas Eve, may go into Christmas Day. Who knows? Corey White. Great move in the hole, taking it to the 33-yard line for about 10.
Again, that rush defense for Hawaii has not been good all season long. They have a couple of good tackles up front with Funga and Fanga, but they are small with linebackers. They're small on the edge. And again, they don't really hit that much. They don't tackle during the season. They don't face this in practice. They don't face the 2-back running attack. They don't even have a tight end on their roster, essentially.
What's interesting is you look at the rush defense last in the NCAA for Hawaii. They practiced for about 2 hours yesterday. No hitting, but they were working pretty hard out there. Broken play. And Hackney still making some. Oh my goodness. Elamimian with a Christmas gift that he would like to return.
Oh, Hackney saw him and said, wait a minute. We got a little corner coming up on me? I don't think so.
That's a Christmas gift he wants to return. I think there's going to be a few re-gifts before this game is over. Hackney, 265 pounds, a big breakfast, and he could be playing guard in this offense, and he just drives Elamimian back. I'm impressed with Elamimian, though. He went right up in there and threw his body in.
Tough guy to tackle, whether you go low or high. And here Hackney changes the play on 1st down. Up the middle is Burks, stacked up at the 19. Purcell leading the way. It is tough to tackle Darrell Hackney at 265 pounds at least.
You know, he used to be a little bit more mobile.
Hackney had a chance to tell us yesterday how difficult it is to bring him down.
I'm different because I don't worry about sacks a lot. I don't feel like one man can tackle me. If he's a secondary player, defensive back, a safety or somewhere like that, I got a quick release.
He also has a quick hit with a lot of power. And I was saying, he's had 3 knee surgeries in 4 years. But doesn't stop him from running.
Well, nothing does. If you look up inertia, he is the definition.
High-scoring affair as we thought. 34 total points scored in the first quarter, and it's 21-13 Hawaii after one. Settled in, watching this football game after eating your Christmas Eve dinner this year might make you hungry for seconds. What a great place to eat fish. We had some terrific ahi tuna the other night. A little sushi platter here for the gang.
It was all good, and the Mai Tai bar wasn't too bad either. I saw you over there with our producers, Kim Belton.
Oh, you see, you saw me over there.
I saw you
like
over
you weren't there. I saw you, Dave, over there in the corner drinking with the guys while I was over here drinking a glass of water.
I had sushi, and it was delicious.
2nd and 7 in the red zone. A traditional handoff. How about that? And Burks trying to break free. Finally brought down to the 5-yard line. Kenny Patton saving a touchdown.
Well, it's not just a traditional handoff, it's a traditional formation. They've only got 2 wide receivers out there. You've got tight end 89, that's Dudley, throws a terrific block. That allows Burks to get through. But in this game that was so wide open in the first quarter, it looks like UAB is making an adjustment to pack it in and go to more power football here.
And how about Dudley? 265 pounds going through there. How about that first quarter? Took a little while.
1 hour and 1 minute for 1 quarter. 39 plays in a quarter. Burks drilled at the point of contact. Uncle Louis Funga, senior defensive tackle, making the hit. The only player on the team in all 4 bowl games in the June Jones era.
Well, he talked about that run defense. He's really good inside. Now, they're not last in rush defense because of Funga. I mean, he makes plays. You've got to have 2 guys try to occupy him.
The law firm of Funga and Fonga, 2 starting defensive tackles. 443 yards of total offense in the first quarter. And here Hackney going to the end zone, just out of the outstretched arms of the tight end Hampton. Lono Manners, a welcome sight for George Lumpkin, a Hawaii defensive coordinator, back after missing most of this season with injury.
Well, they packed it in again. Sam Dudley was at fullback again. It was looking like a power run again to the Hawaii defense, and that allowed man coverage. Manners, terrific job.
Well, you don't want to settle for field goals in a shootout. You find your best player down here, number 10, Roddy White. See if you can get him singled up. He's got a good matchup with Aluminum.
Bottom of your screen is number 10, Roddy White. On 3rd and goal, Hackney eludes pressure but cannot complete it. Trying for Sam Dudley, who is open, but it was overthrown.
You know something? Aluminum made a great play there. I mean, he showed you some experience by getting in front of White and making White run up his backside. And he just cuts this route off. This is great play. I mean, this is a senior, veteran guy who's seen a lot of plays and gets over there. That's Dudley, who was trying to get out that way.
Hackney wants that one back. 22-yard field goal attempt is good by Nick Hayes, cutting the Hawaii lead to 5. So Elimimian steps up with a big defensive play, and Hawaii has a 5-point lead after the field goal. Back at the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to you and yours. Hawaii leading UAB 21-16. We've been on the air for about 1 hour and 15 minutes, and we still have most of the second quarter to go. We already have 37 points scored. Hayes with a 22-yard field goal to make it 21-16. Dickerson ready to receive his kickoff. At the 4-yard line. And Dickerson wrapped up and just barely back to the 20-yard line. Here's our game track.
Began with Roddy White with a big play for UAB. his 14th touchdown of the season from Daryl Hackney.
But Hawaii answers and answers and answers. Timmy Chang, touchdown to Gerald Welch.
Also a touchdown of about 80 yards to Jason Rivers. 18 yards away from 17,000 in Chang's amazing career. Already the NCAA all-time passing leader, the NCAA leader in total offense, and he's up there in passing touchdowns as well. And here he intelligently throws it away. Incomplete. 16,667 entering today. Ty Detmer was the leader before the Louisiana Tech game. Steve McNair, number 3, former Alcorn State, now Tennessee Titans standout, just under 15,000 career yards. But Chang is better than all of them statistically anyway.
Well, he's looking to break the record of Ty Detmer for total yards, not just barely, but by over 2,000 yards. That's shattering a record.
I'm not sure anyone will ever break it.
Chang has his man Rivers again out near the 30-yard line where he is slammed down by Bobby Keys. Well, Chang has broken a lot of records, but there's also one that he would like to forget, and that's what happened up at Boise when he set the NCAA career interception record.
Well, he struggled at Boise, one of those games on the mainland where Hawaii for some reason isn't itself. But at the same time, when you throw in a lot of interceptions, it's because you're also throwing a lot of touchdown passes, and that pass set the record.
A 7-yarder to Jason Rivers against Louisiana Tech. And that was a big win for Hawaii.
Well, he's played more games. He started for 5 seasons, essentially, redshirt year. And he's played so many games, I don't think someone else will break his record. And June Jones doesn't believe so either. I mean, you have to play in the right system. You've got to be a starter. You got to stay healthy.
Hawaii gets an extra game because it is playing here, so 12 games a year.
That's right, to offset the costs of traveling to the mainland every year. They go to bowl games, so they get extra games to do this as well.
Timmy Chang talking things over with June Jones. And there's Timmy's dad. More on him when we come back.
The people of Hawaii would like to share their islands with you. Plan your trip now at gohawaii.com.
The NFL's most outstanding players head to paradise. ESPN's presentation of the 2004 Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Brought to you by America Online. Want a better internet? You belong at America Online. And the new singular, raising the bar.
Welcome back to Surfing Heaven. It's for boys and girls, men and women of all ages, shapes, and sizes. Even Trevor Maddich was out there surfing earlier this week, weren't you, Trev?
Oh, absolutely. Surfing
Huge
USA.
Waves. Huge waves out there.
Because of Trevor or not? Here's Chang on the rollout. Merry Christmas, Trev. And then Chang hits the line judge with that pass and goes into the Sports Center sign, but he's okay, pressured by Larry McSwain. Tim Chang set the record against Louisiana Tech, then gave it to his father. No, he wasn't getting a special pass because it was a record-setting day. He was working the game, not as a coach, not as an official. For more on that, here's Rob Stone.
Red hat here, which tells you when commercials are on and off for the officials. You've had a great vantage point to watch your son's career. What are you going to remember the most from it?
Well, I think just watching him mature as a football player, this culminates 11 years of him playing football. And, got up this morning with the mom and we said, we cannot believe that his career in Hawaii is over. Hopefully he'll have better things ahead of him, but we really enjoyed it. And just watching him mature as a player and as a person.
Take me through that moment when he gave you the ball once he set the NCAA record.
Wow, that's something that I guess every dad dreams about, but you never know what's going to happen until the time really does happen. Well, I had to bite my lip from holding my tears from rolling down my eyes. But yes, it was a beautiful moment.
Guys, this is Timmy Chang's last game as a collegiate football player. His dad's last game after 12 years as a Red Hat.
Pretty cool. It's a job that a lot of times doesn't get talked about. Probably the first time that a Red Hat, the timeout coordinator, has the popularity that he does. The father of Timmy Chang, Levi Chang.
Well, maybe he'll have to do that at the next level because Tim Chang is going to get a chance to play. And he's got some skills. He's not the biggest quarterback, but he's got good feet. He's a better athlete than you think, and he's got an incredibly quick release, and he's very accurate.
You know what helps him is Drew Brees, the San Diego Chargers quarterback, who's just about the same height at about 6'1", and Brees going to the Pro Bowl this year. That means that NFL teams might give shorter quarterbacks another look.
Chang will play in the East-West Shrine game as well as the Hula Bowl, 2 postseason All-Star games. Milne with a great boot. Lindsey back at the 21. Lindsey out to the 28. 48-yard punt, 7-yard return. Speaking of football, Christmas night. It's the Broncos and the Tennessee Titans. Jake Plummer and the Broncos trying to stay alive for a postseason berth. That's at 8:30 Eastern on Saturday. Then on Sunday at 8:30 Eastern, the Browns and Dolphins, both games available in high definition on ESPN HD. And will former Browns assistant coach Nick Saban be the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins? I don't think we'll find out between now and the game Sunday, but you never know. Dave Wannstedt, former Miami Dolphin head coach, recently accepting the head coaching position at the University of Pittsburgh.
Well, the games and the pressures for the games are so similar. Guys can coach in the NFL or college. What's the difference now?
Hackney on the rollout. That pass should have been picked off. Lincoln Manutai was in the area, and so was Kila Kamaka-Viva Ole, who dropped in that zone blitz there and almost picked it off.
Yeah, good call. Manutai will drop out of there. Look to your right. Watch him when he gets his hands on it. You see the pressure.
You know what's interesting is that that ball was thrown to tight end Sam Dudley. And you know who it wasn't thrown to? Roddy White. Roddy White only has 1 catch so far in this game. He has not been a factor with the exception of that 1 touchdown catch.
Now remember, that was obviously a pretty big play. Racing 51 yards for a touchdown here. They blitz. And Hackney hit as he delivers to Drinkard. Going to be spun down for a loss. Hawaii stepping it up on defense. Tanuvasu Moy with a tackle.
And that time Roddy White wasn't even covered. It was a busted coverage. Leonard Peters went over there late to try to get in front of him, but had Hackney seen him and got the ball to him, it would have been probably a touchdown.
Well, the change we've seen in the last couple of series, both teams on defense are bringing more pressure. They've decided they can't sit back, so they've experimented with more pressure, and it's worked for both of them so far.
I kind of enjoyed the touchdowns myself.
Well, Rod, you know what I see both teams doing, though? Now that they have both shown a lot of pressure, I think they'll back out a little bit because the offenses will adjust to that pressure, and I think they'll want to mix it up. And so you might see a certain number of plays in a row where they don't come.
Well, Elamimian, who's been covering Roddy White a lot in this game, pretty good defensive back. UAB 3 of 5 on 3rd down. Hackney, pocket collapsing, and Hackney still has the strength to get that away to avoid the sack. However, UAB will have to punt it away. Tony Akpan got the pressure along with Purcell.
And both of those guys, defensive linemen, they did not blitz this time. They dropped 7 into coverage and let the defensive line get to the pressure. Now that's why this occurs, because there's nobody open. Hackney saying, look, they're blitzing me. I think now there'll be man coverage, and they drop into zone.
So Parker Mullins will punt it to the dangerous Chad Owens. Second team All-American kick and punt returner. But he's going to get planted right as he grabs it. Fuqua smoking him there. just as he brought it in. 21-16 Hawaii leading. Chet Owens neutralized by Fuqua. Welcome back to the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Third straight Hawaii Bowl for the University of Hawaii. First ever bowl for UAB and first bowl game for Watson Brown in 20 years as a head coach. And it has been quite a year for the Brown family. Watson and his brother Mac Brown, the head coach at the University of Texas.
And Watson will unfortunately not get over to Pasadena to watch Mac and his Texas Longhorns take on Michigan. Say he's heading home for Christmas, got to get some recruiting done, and going to miss the Rose Bowl.
Watson says he knows what his brother feels like because there was a website after UAB lost 2 straight games to go to 5-3 as Komine pulls it in and powers to the 41. A website that called for Watson Brown's firing. He told us, now I know what Mac feels like. We got a penalty flag down in the Hawaii backfield.
Well, that website was put up by a former UAB player who I guess didn't like Watson Brown, didn't like his future. Looks like he jumped the gun, though. They went on to this bowl game.
This was after a 5-1 start. They were in the BCS top 25.
Roughing the passer, number 44 on the defense. 15 yards is added to the end of the run. First down.
That's on Larry McSwain, the second penalty on him.
Well, that's frustration. McSwain again, one of the top 4 sack artists in college football with 13 coming into the ball game. Hasn't gotten close. A little frustration, and he pushed Chang from behind after he let go of the ball.
And McSwain, 6'1", 240, would like to go to the next level, and what helps him is people like Dwight Freeney, who is the defensive end sack specialist for the Indianapolis Colts, which means NFL teams now will also look at shorter defensive ends.
Of course, Freeney on his pro day ran a 4.38.
Yeah, that'll get you some attention.
Chang looks one man off and makes a great throw to Welch. How about that? Chet Owens just pointed at him and said, "Great job, Timmy."
Oh, it's beautiful.
And Chang is putting on a show for the University of Hawaii, but UAB only down 5. They passed Trevor Manich, Rod Gilmore, Rob Stone at the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Chang only 5 incompletions, 244 already, and a couple of touchdowns. Not a bad first half for Hackney, 141 and a score. But Roddy White, who could be a first-round draft pick, could be a top 10 pick at wide receiver for UAB, held to 1 catch, although that catch was a touchdown. Here's Michael Brewster at 5 feet 5 inches tall, taking it to the 23-yard line, tackled by Nigel Eldridge.
That was one of 3 running plays we saw them practice yesterday in their hour-and-a-half practice. Brewster's not a big guy.
Michael Brewster has an interesting pregame ritual. And not because he does it without a shirt, but it doesn't matter where he is. In Boise earlier this year, he did it without a shirt. And it was about 25 degrees, but he didn't care.
And note that there are no tattoos visible. That's rare on this team.
Good point. Checking with Rob for more on Brewster after this play as Chang finds Owens. And he gets popped by Will Evans at the 18, but hung on to the football for about a 4 or 5 yard gain. Let's go to Rob.
A little surprised that Michael Brewster's even out there on an earlier kick return. He took a knee to the head. Staff took him to the locker room to evaluate. He was dizzy, came back out. They cleared him to play, but he was sitting on the bench and in the locker room for a chunk of this first half.
He walked on, Rob, at Tennessee, then transferred to Hawaii, and he's the starting tailback.
And he does more than just run the ball. Great pass protection blocker. Did a nice job on the last play.
Chang again making the right throw as Owens gets dropped at the 13. How much better does Tim Chang look today than he did against Boise State when we saw him?
Yeah, well, he's getting a little help from Brewster. I mean, in the run and shoot, the running back has always got to be able to look to the correct side and pick up a blocker. He does it right there. I mean, that's Brewster, only 5'6", 180, taking on two guys coming from that side. I mean, that's his job. He's got to scan to the left and scan to the right and pick up the most dangerous guy.
Tim Chang may have 300 yards passing by the end of the half. In this game last year, he had 475 and 5 touchdowns off the bench. And here he's got Chad Owens for a touchdown.
Well, Chad Owens runs a terrific route here. Watch him go outside. He widens the defenders and then cuts back inside. And because he faked out first, because he widened them, the space was created for Chang to hit him right in the middle of the field.
16th time this year that Chang has hit Owens, and Owens has hit Pater. The extra point is good. 6-play, 75-yard drive. 13-yard passing touchdown. Chang to the former walk-on Chad Owens. With more on him, here's Rob. I will check in with Rob in a moment, but what a story Chad Owens is. Honolulu guy, 5 feet, 9 inches maybe, 175 pounds. Let's go to Rob.
As you said, Owens started his winding road to success right here in Honolulu, where he was born. The diminutive but quick athlete prospered at local Roosevelt High, where he lettered in football, basketball, baseball, and track. He wanted to continue playing football, so as you mentioned, he walked on to this Hawaii program. After redshirting a year, he earned freshman All-American honors. He sports a lot of family patriotic type tattoos around his body, but he's got one that's very personal to him. You guys touched on it earlier. Mighty Mouse on that right bicep shoulder area.
Mighty Mouse is really the hardest working college football player I've seen. We saw him at practice yesterday, and this is your light practice the day before. He's running around so hard, he kind of strained a growing muscle, set out 2 plays, came right back in, and was going even harder after that.
Lindsey's gonna take this one and run it out. And Lindsey's got a great return on him, but he can't spin out of a tackle at the 32. Good return nonetheless. Leonard Peters makes the stop on special teams. Well, much of the NFL, guys, is about the more you can do, and Chad Owens can do a lot. What do you guys think about Owens at the next level?
I think he's going to play. He reminds me of Tim Dwight when Tim Dwight came out of Iowa. I mean, he's a hard-working guy. He plays at, top speed all the time, and he works so hard. I got to believe he's multiple enough to have a shot out there with punt return and wide receiver.
Let's see what UAB does now. Down 12, largest lead for Hawaii. And Hackney going up top. Great throw to White. And he pulls it in for a second catch to the 36-yard line. Eliminian at pretty good coverage. Hackney with a beautiful throw.
Well, Hackney does a great job of getting the ball to the sideline. You see the stutter there. Now, he knows he's got White and room to the sideline. He gave himself enough room, White did, to use the sideline to let the ball be dropped in there.
Roddy White, second in the country in receiving yards per game, set the Conference USA record for receiving yards this year with over 1,300. From the 36 of Hawaii, Burks. And the running game not there the last couple of series. Watson Ohuli with a 5-yard loss.
They got to get Roddy White back on the field. That catch that he made against Elimimian was his second, but it was his first catch against Elimimian. You want to get him back on the field. Elimimian is looking for the matchup. Got to believe they're going to try and go at him again now that White is starting to get a little bit of a rhythm going.
On 2nd and 14, they fake the inside running play, and the blitz is picked up, and Chavez drops it.
that's the third drop for Chavez. He was open. It was a safety or it was corner blitz. Aluminium blitzed off of that side, and the safety did not get over fast enough to cover Chavez. It was a tough catch, but it hit him in the hands. Now take a look at the right of your screen, 37. That's Aluminium, but that leaves Chavez open. The safety did not get there, but here comes the ball, and it goes through his hands.
Now the difference in the run and shoot, White would have just sat down.
Norris Stringer with a great block there, picking up the blitz, but they couldn't complete it, and now Hawaii had too many guys on the field and has to call timeout. One timeout remaining for June Jones in the half. Hawaii leading by 12, but UAB is driving. But a big third down and long coming up.
Continues when Stephon LaFors leads Louisville in a shootout with Boise State. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl next Friday at 3:30 on ESPN.
Third down and 14 for UAB at the Hawaii 40. Hackney with time. Has to dump it off short to Burks. And he gets to the 32, bringing a fourth down and 7. What does Hackney do here? Does he stay in the game, or does he come out and does UAB try a field goal?
Well, I think they've got to go for it here. I mean, they're in a shootout. You can't keep kicking field goals and try and stay in this ballgame.
That's correct, but Hawaii is doing a great job of mixing it up. We saw a corner blitz on the last play, and then this one right here, they only rushed 3 and they dropped everybody else back, and right now it's confusing Darryl Hackney.
And Watson Brown wants to talk it over with Hackney, but it appears the Blazers will go for it here on 4th down and 6. Hawaii leading UAB by 12. One timeout remaining for both teams. Take a look at our Aflac trivia question for today's game. In addition to UAB, which other 2 schools are making their first appearance in a bowl game? There are 3 schools. UAB is one of them, making first appearance in a bowl game.
Do you know?
I do know, but that's because somebody gave me the answer.
Do you know, Trevor?
I know one of them. Now I'm thinking of the other.
All right, all right.
One of them played some pretty good basketball as well. Now I'm trying to think of the other one.
Well, one of the coaches on UAB used to coach at the other school.
Oh, I know now. There was a movie like that.
Are you just giving hints?
It's a hint. It's a clue. So we got basketball for one of them and a movie for the other.
All right.
All right. Alex Trebek would never do that, but I am your friend.
You're just not going to tell. You're going to give these obscure hints. Huh? Okay. How about a guess? You want to guess?
No, I know what that.
Okay.
4th down, and UAB is going for it. Top of your screen, Roddy White against Aluminium. 1-on-1. Hackney picks it up as he finds Drinker. How many quarterbacks have the strength to hang in there and complete that pass? Purcell, who weighs about as much as Hackney, was all over him.
And you're absolutely right. That was Hackney. He made this play. Most quarterbacks would have been knocked down or would have given up on this thing. Look at this thing. He hangs in there and he manages to get something on this thing.
And the look on his face. We won't see that here, but look at this now. Purcell gets him, has him almost off balance, but it even takes him a while longer after the ball is out before Purcell can get him down.
But if the quarterback weighs more than the defensive end, then the QB has the advantage to stay on his feet. And the running game has gone sour here of late as Burks gets no gain on the play. A wall of Hawaii defenders at the point of attack, led by Tanuvasa Moy.
Well, I think Pat Sullivan, the offensive coordinator, is running the ball enough to make sure that he gives his defense a chance to rest. He doesn't want them out there, 3 plays and out. He's got to keep the defense off the field a little bit. And Pat Sullivan is mixing in the run to burn some clock and let his guys get a rest. But he's going to have to use Roddy White down here. He knows that.
188 and a touchdown for Hackney so far. Hackney throwing it in on second down. This time Chavez hangs on and picks up the first down to the 10-yard line, a 14-yard gain.
Yeah, Trevor, Roddy White is drawing a lot of attention. When it looks like single coverage, they're giving him some double coverage, so somebody else has got to make catches.
And Hackney's doing a nice job of identifying them. Note this time he rolled out. He rolled to the left to change the launch point in case it was a blitz. That helped with protection, and he had plenty of time to find Chavez.
Over 400 total yards combined in the first half, or in the first quarter, and barely over 100 combined in the second quarter. The first quarter felt like a first half. It was about as long, 1 hour and 1 minute long first quarter. Drinkard on the inside handoff. What a great move around Purcell. And then a great block by Hackney. And Drinkard is in for the touchdown. But Hackney had the block there on Elamimi in the corner. And again pushing and shoving afterwards. Peters is in there along with Hackney.
Well, Hackney outweighs Elamimi by about 70 pounds. Now look at this. Number 4 on the right of your screen. He's going to hit a great defensive back in Elamimi and just floor him. He's right there. And down he goes. For a quarterback to lay the wood on someone is a joy to see.
That was no quarterback. That was a guard out there making that block.
Which brings up the question, what position is he playing? No, just kidding.
Fullback.
He's only a junior. So Drinkard with the touchdown. Remember that key 4th down conversion there on that drive. And the extra point is good to make it a 5-point game.
Notice that UAB keeps kicking 1 PAT instead of going for 2. They're trying to make sure they stay within, you know, one possession. They don't want to risk falling behind by 2, so they're not trying to go for 2 points early.
Normally your quarterback, if he's going to block, is going to shield off. Now look at number 4 on the left of your screen. That's Hackney, all 265. He doesn't shield. He destroys the extension. It looks like he's been practicing with the offensive line on a sled.
So Hackney and Drinkard team up with the 2 big plays on that drive. The 4th down conversion where Hackney did a great job to stay in there, take the hit, and still deliver an accurate throw. And then Drinkard making the nice move, and then Hackney with the block on the run for the touchdown.
You think he's not a pretty good athlete at 6 feet, 260 pounds or so? I mean, you saw him move out there. That's pretty quick to get down there and make that block.
That was pretty quick, but that extension at the end of it. I remember practicing on 7-man sleds in high school to get extension at the end of your block like that, and that's exactly what he did from a quarterback.
8-play, 67-yard drive. 3:11 gone by, but now Hackney has to turn it over to the other gunslinger, Timmy Chang. Already has a few touchdown passes. And about 600 yards is what he's on pace for passing in this game. Here's Brewster on the return past the 15. And Brewster near the 29 before he's wrestled down. Thurman Pearson with a special team stop for UAB.
You know, Watson Brown talking to us earlier in the week said he knew he had to get in the 40s. He wasn't going to settle for trying to score 20 or 30 points to win this thing. He knows he's got to be up over 40 points.
And take a look at the chippiness. Number 55, Marcus Mark, isn't just going to put a tackle on him. Look at him try to knock his head off. Boom! Right there over the top. These teams are fired up right now.
It's been a physical game. For as wide open as it's been very physical. Chang finding his favorite target. Owens dancing around 2 defenders before he's brought down at the 33 by Eldridge. 5th tackle for Nigel Eldridge.
Timmy Chang is a very accurate quarterback. Ball right on the money, gives Owens a chance to do something with it when he catches it.
3 touchdown passes, giving Chang 37 on the year. Closing in on 300 yards in the first half. Hackney on pace for about 450, 500 yards.
That's a pretty good game already.
Yeah. Chang again, this time to Welch, caught a touchdown earlier, and he's out of play at the 42-yard line, about 10 yards there. Pushed out by Darrell Fuqua.
That's a hard throw. And that's a very difficult throw to make, yet he still puts it in a position where Welch can do something with the ball. I mean, he's leaning that way. He's got to put it out there where it's in front of him, and Welch doesn't have to turn around for the ball. He can keep moving upfield. That's a really difficult throw and a great throw.
Now, Chang has played a lot better at home, like Hawaii has as a team, than on the road. So if you're an NFL team, the question has to be, since there is no NFL team in Hawaii, how does he do on the mainland? Kali'i hammering to the 50-yard line before Zach Woodfin makes the stop. And there was a fumble, but Kali'i was down. Woodfin came up with it, but it will remain Hawaii football.
Notice how we aren't talking about Woodfin much in this ball game. He's their leading tackler. He's a linebacker, though. This is not a game for linebackers because of the way they spread you out and throw the ball.
And he's had to cover some wide receivers underneath as well. And he's got the athletic ability to do it, but only for a short period of time because he can't stay with them very long.
Bobby Keys, best cover guy for UAB, a little bit banged up, had to leave the game. Here's Kali'i. Oh my, how about that? And another one as he hurdles Will Evans to the 33-yard line.
When you talk about Zach Woodfin, he had a shot and a run there, but the right guard, number 69, Uriah Moanoa, pulls around to the left, gets out into space, and Woodfin has got to do something with it, and Moanoa just puts a terrific block on an outstanding linebacker. Now, if you look at the lead blocker, that's 69 Moanoa, and the guy he's going to see is 58 Woodfin, and he is able to stay up long enough to keep him out of that play.
But how about Kali'i? I mean, he just hammered the would-be tackler.
Dominic Cosper said, I'm going to come up and try to go low. Maybe not. Little knee to the ear hole. 23 out of 29 plays have been pass plays. No surprise there. Chang under pressure a little bit. Flag down. Don't know if they got the play off. May have been a dead ball foul.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
You know, one of the things with Tim Chang is it's very difficult to disguise your coverages against him. And he's so good at figuring out what you're going to do. I mean, if you line up trying to show a 2-deep coverage and you're really going to play a 4 across coverage, a guy who sneaks out a little bit, Timmy Chang recognizes that, and he knows you're playing cover 4, not cover 2.
Well, if he sees you disguising and shifting, he'll go on a quick count to catch you in between the coverages.
Chang surveying the situation. Welch was the intended receiver. Cosper on the coverage. We showed a lot of food earlier. We almost had some barbecued ribs right there.
Well, they've been making that kind of throw an awful lot. Welch and Chang went to St. Louis High School together. They've thrown a lot of touchdowns and catches together.
They played together in middle school. They've known each other for a long time.
Bobby Keys back into the game for UAB after having to leave for a few plays. He's their top cover guy, and he's at the top of your screen on Jason Rivers, who had an 80-yard touchdown earlier in the game. Blitz. It's picked up, and Welch is free. And he lays a blow to register. He registers a crushing blow to Brandon Register, and then again more pushing and shoving after the play.
Well, Welch is 5'7", about 215. There's a lot of linebackers at 6'4", 215. So he packs a lot of power and a lot of muscle into a very compact package.
Welch has a touchdown today. One of 3 passing touchdowns for Timmy Chang. 17 touchdown passes over the last 13 quarters and 12 minutes. That's about 1.5 touchdowns per quarter. 50% on third down is Hawaii. This one's dropped by Welch. Would have been a first down had he caught it at the 21.
But still, Tim Chang is reading every coverage correctly. He knew that corner was rolling up with the safety behind him, and he had 2 receivers out to the left stretching that short corner, and he picked the receiver in front. And he makes every read you need to make.
And every throw.
Well, Steve Spurrier has a different system, but a similar philosophy. If you spread them out with wide formations and wide receivers, it's easier to read what the coverage will be.
Timeout called by June Jones. He is going to go for it here on 4th down. No timeouts remaining for the Warriors here in the first half.
Well, he's within Ayat's distance for a field goal, but both coaches recognize this is going to be a shootout. You take your chance to get points. You don't want to punt down here.
Hawaii playing in its 3rd straight bowl. That's a first in the history for the University of Hawaii. UAB is playing in its first bowl game ever. There are 2 other schools making their debuts in bowl games this postseason. Our Aflac trivia question and the answer: Connecticut and Troy. Wayne Bolt, defensive coordinator at UAB, coached at Troy, and Connecticut was the basketball reference that Trev was making earlier.
And Troy, the movie with Brad Pitt. A lot of people have been mistaking Rob Stone for Brad Pitt.
That was not a good hint.
That was a great hint. It's the title of a movie. If it was Gone with the Wind University, then I said a movie, it would have been a great hint too.
You're reaching now. Come on. That's not a good hint.
'Tis the season, we'll let you pass.
Oh, I'll let you guys pass for not getting that clue.
But how about UConn? I mean, you talk about a program hitting its stride and, getting up there in a hurry. Man, they've made themselves a bowl team quickly.
Orlovsky, the quarterback there, a senior, like Tim Chang, who will get a lot of looks from NFL teams.
3 years ago, UConn was 1AA. And so it's just a meteoric rise in the Big East.
The Big East adding Louisville, South Florida, and Cincinnati next year. 2 of those 3 teams in bowl games. Cincinnati won its bowl game against Marshall. Here's Chang on 4th down. And his pass broken up at the last second by Cosper. Owens, the intended receiver. UAB will take over.
And what a terrific coverage by Brandon Register on Gerald Welch. They've been throwing the short pass to Welch out of the slot. Take a look here. Welch is going to fake a short pass and then turn it up. And take a look at what he does. He goes out, and Register does not bite on it. That's where Chang wants to go. Coverage perfect.
Yeah, he didn't have time either. The coverage was good, and Chang didn't have time because of pressure to stay in there and wait for that route.
So UAB with the ball, down 5. Trying to go down and get the go-ahead score before the break. And there's the man for UAB, Darryl Hackney, 265-pound quarterback, but he hands off to Corey White. Straight ahead for about 4 to the 32. Tackled by Watson O'Hooley, his 5th stop.
Now the second half, it's going to be key to watch UAB and see if they hold up. This heat, this fatigue, having come over here. And I can't emphasize enough yesterday how impressed we were with Hawaii's practice. I mean, everything they ran passing plays for about an hour, sprinting up and down the field. They're a well-conditioned team.
UAB coaches told us, hey, when we watched the film of the Northwestern and Michigan State games, those teams got tired middle of the 3rd quarter. And Hawaii won both those games. Here White gets ripped down by Tanuvasa Moy at the 36-yard line.
When you talk about Hawaii's practice, Chad Owens a couple of times caught balls on the sideline, and his momentum carried him off, and he had to run down a hill and smash into a corrugated metal shed. Made a lot of noise, scared the coaches, but that's the intensity that they practiced on the day before the game.
UAB took the day off yesterday.
And I think that was wise on UAB's part, by the way.
3rd down and 2. They got to convert this, or Chang's going to get another chance. They run White, and he's not going to get there. He stretched as Lono Manners brought him down and actually made it a lot closer than it appeared. We'll see if they indeed measure. It's the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl between 2 7-win teams. And we have 51 total points scored in this game. Dave Pash, Trevor Manich, Rod Gilmore, Rod Stone. Each team with over 300 yards total offense, and we still have a minute to go in the 2nd quarter. On pace for about 1,400 yards total offense and over 100 points.
Mac Brown, the coach of Texas and the brother of Watson Brown, told Watson, make sure you get your team some rest the last couple of days. Make sure they get their legs back. You'll need them in the second half.
Well, Northwestern, as we said earlier, led 13-0 down here. Michigan State led 21-0, but Hawaii ended up winning both games in the second half. And June Jones' team a lot stronger at home. 6 straight wins at home, 7-1 here at Aloha Stadium, 0-4 on the road. Hawaii is the road team, but this is obviously a home game. As Hackney goes to Chavez. And he's got the first down to the 42-yard line. Manners on the stop.
Chavez working underneath, inside, because Roddy White to the right side, drawing a lot of attention. And Chavez has been the receiver to step up more so than Reggie Lindsay, but they were going to have to find somebody to help that man, Roddy White.
Credit Hackney for not trying to force it to White all the time. Hackney going deep. Knocked away by Kenny Patton at the last moment. Carl Duncan, who only has 2 catches all year, was the intended receiver. Pass may have been underthrown just a tad. One timeout remaining for UAB. From the 42, 2nd down and 10. Hackney can't lob it in there to Drinkard.
Well, Roddy White has been drawing so much attention. The last 2 plays, they've left him in the block. He'll be on the right of your screen, lined up at tight end, right there, and he's blocking a defensive end. Now, that's pretty good for a wide receiver.
Pretty good. I don't get that. I mean, this guy's a first-round pick, and you got 2nd and 10, 1st and 10, and he's blocking for you. I want him out on a route. I want him matched up with somebody. I want him to make plays if he's on my team. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
2 catches, but one of those was a touchdown, a 51-yarder. Here he goes out in a pattern. Instead, Hackney goes across the middle, and he's got the first down to Drinkard to the 25. Now, Drinkard has stepped up. He has a touchdown and a few other big plays in this first half for UAB.
Well, they've taken him out of the backfield, and they've used Drinkard in the slot. Again, finding the other receiver to help Roddy White.
Hackney on the roll-off, flag down. Again, they didn't get the playoff. Movement along the line. We've seen that 4 or 5 times between both these teams here today. Unable to get the playoff.
Well, Roddy White lined up at left tight end that time, away from the roll.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, they said they'd move Roddy White around, but we thought they'd move him around to get him free to go out on routes. Right now, they're moving him around to help him pass protection.
Now maybe they're saving his legs for the second half.
Well, I think they're expecting Hawaii to put 2 pairs of eyeballs on him, whether he goes out for a pass or not.
Well, then let him go occupy 2 guys.
Well, this way he helps to pick up the blitz, and it makes the other guys even more open. I can see the logic, but I wonder why they use him for that.
Come on, Trevor. Come on. Really?
Hackney rolling out and finding Duncan short, and he got out of play at the 23, stopping the clock with 16 seconds left.
But with Pat Sullivan being as sneaky as he is, there's Roddy lined up at left tight end, blocking once again. That's Kamakaviva Ole, number 30. And you can almost see him setting up a time when they're going to pretend to block, let the rest of the eyes of the secondary turn to other directions, and then leak him out late. Let's see if there's some Machiavellian sneakiness going on with that.
You know something? I think Hawaii likes the fact that he's in blocking. I think that works for them.
He's at the top of your screen standing up, and he stays in the block again, but Hackney's going to go to him on the backside. Maybe that's what they were setting up. Did he get out of bounds? No, he did not. With 20 seconds left, clock winding down, and UAB will use its final timeout with 5 ticks remaining in the first half clock.
Well, Trevor, was that what you were talking about? I mean, they're trying to decoy you with, you know, this thing here. He looks like he's blocking after they've shown it 2 or 3 times, and now you try to screen to him.
Well, if this ball gets there fast enough, he's got some space, and this might be a much bigger play. I think they do a lot of fishing in Alabama in the offseason. They might have been casting and reeling in a little bit before they set the hook.
You know, Pat Sullivan was setting the bait there. Guy who's won a Heisman Trophy, knows a thing or two about coaching football.
Our two-star receivers. White, 3 catches, 85 yards and a touchdown. Owens already with 6 catches, 90 yards and a score.
There's Pat Sullivan. Was it 1971?
At Auburn, he won the Heisman Trophy and overcame throat cancer last year, been cancer-free since April.
You know, when he found out about the Heisman Trophy, he heard about it on television.
They've added 2 more seconds to the clock. I don't know if it'll matter here, but a 37-yard field goal attempt by Nick Hayes. He's got it. And UAB pulls within 2. There are 3 seconds remaining if Hawaii wishes to put Chad Owens in the game to try to return a kick.
Yeah, no question there.
Right down the middle.
You know what, though, Dave? I'd suggest this. If Chad Owens gets his hands on the ball, the entire kickoff coverage team of UAB ought to be put on a boat back home. If he is out there, they need to just squib it to somebody else.
10-play, 52-yard drive, 2 minutes and 29 seconds. And the 37-yard field goal by Nick Hayes. He is 2 for 2. It would be a 1-point game, but we had a blocked extra point on the first touchdown by UAB. Hawaii almost returned it for a 2-point conversion. It was recovered in the end zone by Hawaii, but the player who recovered it had his feet out of bounds when he touched the ball. Now, UAB was hoping to have the lead in the first half because in the second half they've been outscored. They've almost doubled up their opponents in the first half and outscored by 28 points in the second half. Now, more than that, actually, but outscored in the second half after outscoring teams in the first half. And they're going to try to keep it away from Brewster. And the up man will take it at the 40-yard line. And he gets it to the 44. Kalalatuselu ends the half. Hawaii by 2 at the break. And standing by with Hawaii head coach June Jones is Rob Stone.
Well, Coach, how does the pace of this game suit you?
Well, it's kind of scary right now. You know, we got to do a better job on defense. We got to tackle, and we got to just get after them a little bit more. We're going to have to score every time we have the ball. I kind of realized that when we looked at the tapes this year. They got a lot of talent, and we're having trouble stopping them like they're having trouble stopping us.
You and your quarterback, Timmy Chang, were just having a conversation right next to me. What were you telling him?
Well, we ran a little double move there, and Timmy, I thought, should have got the ball to Chad a little quicker. He was open on that 4th down play for about 5 or 6 steps, but he just got rushed a little bit and didn't stay with him, but he almost made the play.
How many points is it going to take to win this one?
Well, I hope that we just have one more than they do at the end.
I knew you were going to say that.
So hopefully it'll work out.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Rob, a 2-hour first half here in beautiful Honolulu. Hawaii 28, UAB 26 at halftime. The college football halftime report is coming up next. More from the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl later. Honolulu, the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. The Warriors leading the Blazers at halftime by the score of 28-26. We'll have more from Honolulu coming up, but right now back to the studio. Let's join Chris Fowler.
All right, Dave, Merry Christmas, folks. It's time to play Santa here in the studio. These guys will put on the Santa hat and give college football a gift. If you could give any...
Warriors leading the Blazers of UAB 28-26. Dave Pasch alongside Rod Gilmore, Trevor Maddich. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to you and yours. Timmy Chang, 3 touchdown passes in the first half for Hawaii. We started, guys, talking about the quarterbacks, Timmy Chang and Daryl Hackney, and both guys had great first halves.
They've been great, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Daryl Hackney has just been a beast, an absolute beast. I mean, he's 17 of 28 with 1 touchdown, but look at what he does to people. In the TCU game, before the game, we just had to get some footage of him. He doesn't look like a quarterback. He looks like a linebacker. And look at this stiff arm. He just rejects potential tacklers. And in this game, he's got a defensive end trying to drag him down, but not before he throws the pass. So look at this block right on your screen. Number 4, Daryl Hackney, just an absolute physical beast. If you want to stop those 30-foot waves out on the North Shore, put Daryl Hackney out there. They'll stop, turn around, go back the other direction.
Well, he wears number 4, and that's a number that another guy who played at a small school, Southern Miss, now playing in the NFL, Brett Favre, and Favre does the same kind of things as Lindsey is taken down at the 14-yard line.
Well, Tim Chang is not the big guy. He can't stop the waves, but you can't really stop him either. I mean, he's been on fire throughout his career, and he's done it tonight. Chad Owens there, he finds him deep, comes back, finds him over the end zone for the touchdown a couple of times. Timmy Chang has been razor sharp the last month, and he's just been impossibly hot tonight.
That's in the first half, over 300 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. And Hackney 248. And 1 score in the first half to Roddy White. White, bottom of your screen. Potential first-round NFL draft pick at wide receiver. Only a couple catches today, but one of those was a touchdown. Here's Burks on the sweep, nowhere to go, as Hawaii has really shored up its run defense since the midway point of this first quarter or so. Well, Abraham Elamimian done a great job on Roddy White. Nobody's been able to shut down Chad Owens for Hawaii. 6 catches, 90 yards, and a touchdown.
I think Roddy White has not won the battle with Elamimian yet, but he did get off right at the beginning of the ball game and against the zone coverage with a huge touchdown catch. They got to get him going in the second half again.
When they put Elamimian on White, he didn't do much after that. Hackney, the screen to Burks. He gets socked at the 12-yard line by Kamaka Viva Ole. Not much there on second down. Let's go to Rob Stone. Tell us about halftime adjustments.
Yeah, this from Watson Brown, the UAB head coach. 2 main words he told me: run and blitz. We've got to get the run game going. So you already see it. Their first play from scrimmage was a run. He said we need to mix the run and the play. Deep balls down the seams are killing us defensively. We need to do a better job. And to do that, they're going to start blitzing Timmy Chang a little bit more. They said we're just giving him far too much time. One guy to keep your eye out for. Number 15, wide receiver Bradley Chavez, had a bad hamstring in the locker room. He just played that last play. They're not sure how much he can give him.
And he's been the guy that's been open when White's been covered. Here they come in the blitz. And Hackney throwing it up there. It almost completed it. Kamaka Viva Ole almost had Hackney sacked.
Well, you talk about those halftime adjustments. It was clear in the first half that when UAB played their 2 deep and their 3 deep coverage, and sometimes their quarters coverage, Timmy Chang ate them alive. They didn't have any success until they went to a little bit of a blitz package, and that's why you're going to see more of that in the second half.
Now, if you're Timmy Chang, you're thinking at halftime, they didn't blitz me much in the first half. They might be coming in the second half. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles it.
Mullins to punt to Chad Owens, who has 10 touchdowns the last 10 quarters, including one on the punt return. And here he goes at the 45. He got ahead of steam, and he gets to the 35 of UAB. 38-yard punt, 19-yard return. We had a first half that was right about 2 hours long. 1 hour and 57 minutes long for one half of football. Coach is joking that even though this game started on Christmas Eve, June Jones telling us it may go into Christmas Day.
Christmas Day, that's optimistic. I'm starting to hear Old Lang Syne.
A Piston-Pacer game may be on hold on ESPN, along with the Heat-Laker game on ABC. Chang finds Rivers, who had a touchdown in the first half and 3 touchdowns in the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl last year. Gets 15 yards there to the 21. 2 great NBA games on Christmas Day. First, 12:30 Eastern, provided this game's over. Pistons, Pacers. And then at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, Lakers, Heat. Miami's won 10 in a row. Shaq against Kobe. Lakers barely above 500. And Jermaine O'Neal is expected to play for Indiana, is expected to start.
Well, Shaq missed a game the other day, so he's healthy and back out there. I guess he wouldn't miss Kobe's game, huh?
No. Don't think so. Not on national TV. Chang. Rivers gets leveled at the 15 by Cosper. Still got 6 yards.
That's what Shaq is going to do to Kobe, I think. If Kobe drives the lane, that's what's going to happen to the guy. That's why I'm going to watch that game, to see that kind of play in basketball. Listen to what this sounds like.
Is that what Kobe's going to sound like when Shaq gets on him? Is that what you mean?
Did you hear a snap, a crackle, and a pop?
You're implying that there's some kind of animosity between those two. I don't know where you're getting that from.
I just made it up.
Chang on 2nd and 4. And that ball should have been picked off. Fuqua read it beautifully. Komine was the intended receiver.
That is the first misread Tim Chang has made tonight. I mean, he had Chad Owens inside, and he didn't go there. He went to the outside where the coverage was. It's the first one he missed. I mean, watch to the right of your screen. You'll see Chad Owens, number 2, flash in front of you. And instead, he goes deep trying to get Komine. But Chad Owens was the one. And Chad told him. Chad goes back to the huddle. He said, hey, man, where were you?
Not many mistakes, though, as you look at the numbers for Chang. 329 yards, 3 touchdowns. 17 touchdowns in the last 3.5 games for Chang, who's going to Owens this time. What a throw by Chang for the touchdown!
Take a look at Chad Owens and the way he adjusts in the air. He doesn't just run out. Look at the way now he goes a little bit to the right and then back to the left when that ball's in the air. That's what's going to make him a lot of money at the next level.
How about that throw?
Was that underhanded?
Are you kidding me? That was amazing.
4th touchdown pass by Chang. 2nd one to Owens, who now has 11 touchdowns in the last 2.5 games. Extra point good by Ayat. And it's a 9-point lead for Hawaii.
But you don't want to go man-to-man coverage on that guy because he'll kill you like he just did.
4-play drive, 36 yards. Chang with a perfect throw to Owens for 6. Aloha Stadium, Hawaii, even though it is essentially the home team in this game, the road team, and wearing the road jerseys, but Timmy Chang right at home as usual here, and he's over 17,000 yards for his career. 4 touchdown passes today. What is it about Hawaii when it plays a home game? 7-1 at home, 0-4 on the road, and Chang, a mirror image of that. Great at home, struggles on the road. A couple games this year that, including the one at Boise State, where Chang had 4 picks, set the NCAA record for interceptions in a career. Here's Lindsey with a chance for a return. Lindsey grabbed from behind and brought down to the 47-yard line. Talinaha Noi with a tackle for Hawaii. So after the touchdown pass by Chang and the return by Lindsey, UAB will have good field position to start.
And Watson Brown and his guys have got to catch up. They can't afford to fall behind by another possession.
Do you guys think that there's any chance that any other player that comes into college football to play quarterback will get 17,000 yards in a career?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. There's so many factors that come into play that have all converged perfectly for Timmy Chang.
He plays so many games, first of all. You think about being here in Hawaii, he gets, with a bowl game, 13 games a season, and he's in a system that allows him to throw the ball, which helps him out a great deal. And he's been healthy. And he had 4 full seasons as a starting quarterback.
They blitz on 1st down, and Hackney dumps it off. Drinker to a touchdown reception in the first half. Gets to the 37-yard line, a gain of about 15 in the 1st down.
And actually, Timmy Chang had 4 seasons as a starter, but he actually had what amounts to a 5th In 2001, at the end of his third game, he was injured, and so he got 3 games in, but got the season back with a medical hardship. Then you've got a 12th game that they add to Hawaii's schedule every year to help defray costs of traveling to the mainland. That's 7 extra games. And then the bowl games, that amounts to an entire 5th year of starting.
But the system makes all the difference in the world. This team, Hawaii's offense, hardly ever runs the ball.
Hackney flipping it, and White able to pull it in at the 26-yard line, gain of 11 and a first down.
Yeah, Rod, I completely agree with that. They'll throw the ball sometimes 60 times a game. But in saying those things, please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not taking anything away from Chang. He deserves this record because he made the plays on the field, and he will not just break it, but completely shatter it. It is absolutely no question that he deserves the record.
8 fewer interceptions this year for Chang than the previous 2 years. Averaged 21 picks each of the last 2 years, 13 this year. June Jones is really happy with the way Chang has responded to being benched. Didn't start this game last year. Chang came off the bench, threw for nearly 500 yards. Here's a pass that looked like it was broken up, but they say it's a fumble, and Kamaka Viva Ole takes it to the 47-yard line. It looked like perhaps a shovel pass. Maybe it was a pitch. That's what they say. It was a pitch attempt, so it's a fumble, and Kamaka Viva Ole comes up with it.
Now watch Kamaka Viva Ole, top of the screen. It is a pitch. He bats it down. That is a tremendous athletic move.
Well, to stab the ball out of the air with his hand, that's a defensive lineman now.
It is clearly a pitch. He got his arm out there, got his hand done it. And Kamaka Viva Ole almost took that one to the house, but for Darryl Hackney.
So Hawaii takes over at the 47 of UAB, leading by 9. Chang to work again. Dumping it off. Here comes Kali'i Kipi. That's about the only way you're going to bring him down in space. Let's take one more look at the batted ball. Was Drinkard in front of Hackney when he pitched it?
That's the question. Now, Hackney, yes, absolutely. No, I mean, it's absolutely a pitch.
Yeah. Look, he's at about the 31, and he's at about the 29. That is a backward pass.
So good call by the officials.
And Kamaka Viva Ole missed time in the middle of the season with emergency appendectomy. Coming back, making a lot of plays today.
2nd and 4. Chang flushed out. Throws it in the dirt. Had it himself after that.
Oh, yes, he is. I mean, we've seen 2.5 quarters of play from him. How many balls has he thrown? 30? And almost all of them have been perfect. And that's one of the few. I mean, the other was a misread. That was the only bad throw he's had all evening.
Well, June Jones talked with us last night about, even though we don't run Tim Chang a lot, he is mobile, and we've seen that today. He's had to elude some pressure several times and make plays on the run. That time he just didn't make a good throw. Here he is on 3rd down and 4. McElveen, untouched, drills Chang. 4th sack of the year for Jermaine McElveen.
Question here is, when you have your back, is he going to check front side or backside? And he checked front side and not backside where the pressure is coming from. You have to account for the open guy on the back end. And that time the running back protecting looked to the front side instead of looking to the backside where he could help Chang and protect him. That's a good job by the defense.
Well, that's the first time this entire season that he has been hit from the blind side when there wasn't a clear blocking misassignment.
Milne from the 40. Lindsey waiting. Fair caught at the 9-yard line. 40-yard punt, no return. UAB will start inside its 10 when we come back to the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl.
I'm watching Bass Center and all the new lures, and I wondered, whatever happened to just plain old worms?
No, it's a lost art.
I love my holographic crawpie lures, but but I just...
Oh, man, I miss my worms.
And the traveler in the dark thanks you for your tiny spark. How could he see where to go if you did not twinkle so? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you
The passage is intense, but if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Introducing the unusually versatile, sport-tuned Kia Spectra 5. Hook up with one.
Fresh, made to order. Sonic's got it, others don't. At Sonic, you won't find any microwaves around here, but you will find delicious all-beef burgers served with the freshest ingredients around and made after you order them, the way you like them. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
ESPN's presentation of the 2004 Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Brought to you by the United States Marine Corps, the few, the proud, the Marines, and Kia Motors. Kia, make every mile count.
Another beautiful day here in Honolulu for canoeing, surfing, or football. The only thing raining, touchdowns here at the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. As you look at our scoring by quarter, it's 35-26, and we're at the midway point of the third quarter. Hackney's first attempt. This drive is a little bit wide of Roddy White, the intended receiver. Elimimian again on the coverage. Let's go back to that sack by McElveen of Timmy Chang on third down when Hawaii had the ball last.
Well, in the run and shoot, you want your running back to check the front side to count there and pick up the extra guy if there is an extra guy. If there isn't, he has to look to the backside. Now, there was a mistake. Maybe UAB has found a way to trick the running back to look to the wrong side. We may see more sacks.
Second down. A straight handoff to White. Slips one tackle, can't slip another. Down at the 11. Moy on the tackle.
Actually, what the trick is there was bringing way too many people, because there was a linebacker that came front side that forced the back to pick him up, but then they brought an extra guy on the backside. And so the trick, I think, is knowing where that back's going to be, bring someone to eat him up. And it'll be interesting to see how much more they blitz now. That was very aggressive.
Only 110 rushing yards allowed by, statistically this season, the worst rushing defense in college football. Hackney on 3rd and 8, pumps. And then lob for Chavez, just over his outstretched left arm. Lono Manners on the coverage.
And if Chavez had not been suffering from the hamstring injury that Rob Stone told us about earlier, Chavez makes that catch.
So Hackney goes 3 and out. And UAB will have to punt. Hawaii should get good field position, as Mullins will boot it away to Chad Owens, who returned it to the 34-yard line last time, and he is an All-American return man, second-team All-American returner. Good punt, but returnable for Owens. Chad Owens breaks a tackle at the 35. Owens at the 15. Touchdown, Chad Owens! 5th punt return for a touchdown this year. 6th of his career, 8th total return, punt and kick for a touchdown in the spectacular career of a former walk-on in Hawaii, turned All-American, soon-to-be professional football player in the NFL.
And what a block by Chad Kapanui, number 5.
But is there any doubt that this man is an All-American? Before he gets to the block by Chad Kapanui, watch the way he keeps his balance, and then he turns it on at the end after the block right there.
And Kapanui blocks 2 guys, not 1, but 2.
And Darrell Fuqua missed the tackle at the 30-yard line on Owens, the Mosi Tutupu Award winner, best special teams player in the country. Pretty good receiver, too, even though he's about 5'9", 170 pounds. And he knows he's good. We do, too.
Rod, you said he reminds you of Tim Dwight of the San Diego Chargers, and I agree, that's a good comparison. But he also reminds me of Vai Sikahima, Pro Bowl kick returner for the Philadelphia Eagles. The same kind of shorter guy, not blazing straight ahead speed, but side to side, he is so shifty, no one could get a clean hit on him.
Let's see if Southall and Lindsay can come up with a good return for UAB. Owens with a touchdown receiving. And now a punt return for a touchdown. Lindsay will let this one sail out of play. We talked earlier about Timmy Chang being on a roll. How about Chad Owens the last 2.5 games? First against Northwestern, 5 touchdowns, including 1 return for a score. The very next week against Michigan State, 4 more touchdowns for the spectacular Mighty Mouse, Chad Owens.
What's he got tonight? 3?
For more on Chad Owens, let's go to Rob Stone.
Guys, we asked Coach Jones yesterday, when did he know Chad Owens was going to be this good? He said he always knew he was super quick, but it was when he scored in his first game on his first 2 collegiate touches. One was a run, the other a catch. Then to seal the deal versus Brigham Young the same year, Coach told him, hey, you're going to go return kicks today. Owens' response, try on an NCAA record for return yards in a game. NFL teams, hey, do not be misled by Mighty Mouse's size. This kid can help you.
Well, according to the International Catalog of Superheroes, Mighty Mouse is super strong, he's invulnerable, he can fly, and he has a form of super hypnosis which allows him to control inanimate objects and people. Sound like Chad Owens today?
Chad Owens, baby, right here, represent who we are, baby. Wow, bring it on, baby, bring it on, bring it on.
Apparently he didn't take your advice on the decaffeinated coffee. Owens has 22 touchdowns this year, which is second nationally behind D'Angelo Williams. 17 receiving touchdowns, 5 punt returns for touchdowns by Owens. Only D'Angelo Williams has 1 more touchdown, and we got a lot of time left in this game.
Well, remember, Watson Brown told his team not to be discouraged by being down by a couple of scores because Hawaii can't run the ball that way.
Again, they almost get to Hackney, forcing a high throw. Great catch. Carl Duncan with his second grab, but not much on the pickup. Elamimian on the tackle.
That's a Braylon Edwards looking catch right there. Way up in the air, one hand, pulls it in, and they need that because right now this is a critical drive for UAB. Even though we're in the 3rd quarter, they are now starting to fall behind. They must answer.
Hackney checking off on 2nd down and 9.
Running out of time there.
Play clock at 2. Hackney just got it off, looking for Roddy White. Nice catch, but Elamimian is equal to the challenge. UAB has been a first-half team all season. In the second half, they've been outscored 208 to 122, including 14-0 here today.
But Remember, in this ball game, with an offense by Hawaii that scores quickly and gets off the field quickly, the clock remains available to UAB. So they know that they've got plenty of time to get back into it. Watson Brown preached that to his team this week. They're not going to panic because they're behind by 16 points.
Will they run the ball like Coach Brown wanted to? Drinker can't hang on to it. 3 and out. UAB will punt it away.
That same pass, we've seen Timmy Chang throw that pass. And it's been on the numbers where the receiver can do something with the ball. You don't want your guy to have to turn or to reach for it.
And Chad Owens will get another crack. He's already got 3 touchdowns today, including his 8th career return, punt and kick for touchdowns.
They can't be kicking it to him.
Well, you wouldn't think so. But why were they kicking it to him at all in the game? This one kicked about 10 yards out of bounds, and the fans don't like it. They wanted Owens to get another shot. Owens will get another shot on offense for Hawaii, thanks to the defense for the Warriors. They have 4 defensive stops this half. Back to Honolulu after this.
The NBA on ABC. Are you ready to play? I said, oh, hey, I was Christmas Day. Watching Kobe play shot, you know, did your way. That and you be in the place to be.
Before broadband, I was far from efficient online, and soon I was becoming less efficient in other ways. But that all changed when I got Comcast high-speed internet. Comcast has the best stuff right where you need it. No more wasted time because there's no phone lines like with dial-up or DSL, so everything's faster and more efficient. Like me.
That was then. This is Comcast.
How will McGrath Lexus make this one December you'll remember?
December to remember is a great time to buy because its selection is awesome. My husband surprised me for Christmas.
McGrath put together a deal that was quite good.
I got a 2004 RX 330 for $32,950. It was certified. I saved $9,000, and there was a 100,000-mile warranty included.
I saw the ads. I came on in. December really was the best time to buy a car at McGrath Lexus.
When you do the math, you choose McGrath.
A 14-point third quarter already for Hawaii as they have extended their lead over UAB. Now, all season long, our crew has been presenting the Friday night debate series, but with it being Christmas Eve, we thought we should probably mellow it out a little bit more, get in the holiday spirit. So, guys, put down your eggnog, quit wrapping those presents, and here we go. We begin with you, Rod. How about your Christmas Eve wish list for college football?
I've got a wish list and some Christmas presents, actually. I think, first of all, I'd like a championship game for Auburn. I think that'd be good for college football. Secondly, I'd like to see more minority coaches.
Rivers on the catch, gets about 10 yards and a flag. He got the mask held.
My third gift or wish would be a bowl game for Joe Paterno. An opportunity for him to get a winning season and go out in style. And then finally, I'd give a clue to Notre Dame and Ole Miss because you got to know who you are. Firing a couple of good coaches in Tyrone Willingham and David Cutcliffe. What's up with that?
Well, I agree with you there. A clue might be under the tree for them. I would start by wishing an outstanding passing quarterback to Steve Spurrier as he installs the fun and gun in South Carolina. Also, a bowl game for the mighty Akron Zips and their head coach, J.D. Brookhart. 56 teams went to bowl games. 57 were eligible. That last team that was eligible but didn't get to go, Akron. And last, for college football fans, I would give a +1. In other words, let's play the bowl games, and then let's play an extra championship game at the end. I think fans want that, and I would wish that.
All right, guys. We appreciate that. And the one team, as Trevor said, that was eligible that didn't get a bowl game had a quarterback that's going to be a first-round pick. Now, Tim Chang won't be likely a first-round pick, but the way he's playing today is likely solidifying his status as a draft pick He's having a terrific game. 4 touchdown passes, 2 of them to Chad Owens.
And he had a terrific game last season when Hawaii won this bowl game. 2 years ago, they lost to Tulane, a team coached by Chris Selfo. And how about Chris Selfo in Tulane? Just announced today, they've extended his contract through 2009. Great job by Rick Dixon, considering Tulane's had injuries and losing seasons 2 years in a row. Chris Selfo, a great coach. Great job by Tulane, a difference in college football.
Chang finds Welch trying to fight off defenders. Going to be close to the marker at the 20-yard line. Cosper on the stop.
You know, you see programs firing coaches after 3 seasons and not being patient. It's great to see a school like Tulane have some patience with a guy who's been a good coach for them. He's 4th on their all-time winning list.
And you know, one of the big victories for the year for Tulane was against this Alabama-Birmingham team. And that helped set them off on a very good stead for the rest of that season.
It almost killed UAB. They were 5-1. Then they lost 2 in a row. Watson Brown rallied his football team to get them here to play June Jones' squad. And Jones, speaking of contract extensions, got one last year through 2008. And he could probably stay here as long as he wants. 3 consecutive bowls, first time in history, and another touchdown pass for Jones' star quarterback, Timmy Chang. There is a penalty flag down, however. Flag down on the near side. And Chang's 5th touchdown pass of the game, which would tie what he did last year in this bowl game, is on hold, as that's on the offense.
Ineligible receiver downfield.
An eligible receiver, that's going to be an offensive lineman. But look at Chang find the weakness in the coverage. Julius Wainwright, number 24, bounced off to the left to cover the receiver, but I already had somebody there covering him. Chang found the one vulnerability and hit it. That's why he deserves the record that he's got, folks. Make no doubt.
He just sees so much out there.
And the extra work he put in the offseason has made a big difference. We talked about Jones benching him last year. June Jones said, hey, you got to step up. If you got a chance to make some money in the NFL, get yourself right, and you can not only make some money, but help us win more games.
Well, that's because, you know, he's been a rock star around here for years, and he didn't really have to push himself until this last season.
Chang on the run. Chang almost throws a pick. Another penalty flag down. You know, June Jones has a lot of experience dealing with quarterbacks who have, as many people would say, underachieved. Jones in the NFL had Jeff George when he was the head coach at Atlanta. Music is perfect for this, isn't it? And then Ryan Leaf in San Diego when Jones was there.
Well, it's one thing to have quarterbacks that underachieve. That sort of implies that maybe the coach had something to do with the underachievement. The unfortunate thing is that fate dealt him a couple of guys that at the time he had them were utter absolute head cases. It was to me a tremendous achievement that he didn't hit either one of them with a baseball bat.
Well, he's developed some pretty good quarterbacks, and he's done a tremendous job with Tim Chang, and he made it clear to him, you want to play at the next level. You know, all this stardom you had in Hawaii and everything from high school to now doesn't mean anything. You got to step up your game.
A yacht on for a 43-yard field goal. Trying to make it a 19-point game. Still plenty of time, though. 3:46 to go in the 3rd. And the wind pushes this one, and it stays in there. It goes through. It just kind of hung on the right post and made it past. More bowl action on Tuesday. The Insight Bowl at 9:45 Eastern on ESPN. Rod talked earlier about Notre Dame letting go of Ty Willingham, the post-Willingham era beginning against Oregon State in Phoenix at the Insight Bowl. It's all part of Capital One Bowl Week on ESPN and ESPN2.
So Weiss doesn't coach that game, right? Kent Bear, the defensive coordinator, will be the head coach in that game, but then Weiss takes over after that.
Yeah, Weiss is still coaching in the NFL and probably will be until at least late January, maybe February.
There's been a lot of talk about the difficulties Notre Dame has had recruiting in recent years, and boy, if you've got Charlie Weiss as your head coach and you want to play in a system that succeeds in the NFL, you've got the right place. That's a great hire, in my opinion, from a recruiting standpoint for that alone.
Well, then you got to get him out there to recruit.
It's true.
He's got to be out there recruiting.
June Jones knows how difficult it is to not only coach in the NFL, but also recruit, especially in places like Hawaii, where a lot of other schools are coming and trying to get your players. He's had to look elsewhere for some players. For more on that, let's go to Rob Stone.
Well, as you guys know, recruiting really a quirky thing. Hawaii's television exposure has really opened them up to a lot of mainland kids. In fact, after the Warriors' ESPN win over Michigan State, about 21 player tapes arrived on Coach Jones's desk on that Monday. But the exposure can hurt as well. A lot of other schools coming to Hawaii and the Polynesian Islands, getting the talent that was once almost exclusively the Warriors. So Hawaii is responding by going to New Zealand and Australia, where next year they'll have 5 to 6 players under scholarship. The twist here, those guys have never played football, just rugby. But Coach said if they were on the mainland, every school would be recruiting them.
They've got a couple of players on their roster who came to Hawaii to play basketball, but are now football players, as Hackney throws a bad ball trying for Roddy White.
Remember, we talked about fatigue, third quarter. UAB, that ball, short ball, no legs into that throw by Hackney.
Well, Hackney's a big, strong guy, but in the first half, he used those powerful legs to fight off defensive ends while they were trying to sack him. And so I'm not sure that he's completely fatigued, but he's not nearly as fresh in the legs as he was in the first half.
Well, they've got to get the passing game going, find a way to get the ball to Roddy White, or Hawaii may run away with this thing. On second down, Hackney to throw. And he overthrows Lance Rhodes, his intended receiver. There is a penalty flag down in the backfield, and Hackney's been hobbling a little bit too. He had a knee injury in high school. That's why he's got the brace on his right knee. He's been hobbling a little bit.
He's had 3 knee surgeries in 4 seasons. But, you know, he's also had trouble trying to get the ball to Roddy White. Here's part of the reason. We talked about Elamimian doing a good job on him, but he had some help this time. Bracket coverage, inside, outside, 2-on-1. Hard to get a ball into that coverage.
That's right, and that's the coverage they want when he's on the outside. What they'll do is bracket him. What they'll do if he's inside on the slot is double team him, and it has worked.
Yeah, and you know, Elamimian is doing what a good DB will do. I got your number. He's talking a little trash. Yeah, you caught one early, but it wasn't on me. I have your number. He's telling them about it.
Elamimian, a senior from Los Angeles.
You know, he's probably saying stuff like, first round pick, huh? I heard all that. You're first round, then I must be a first rounder, because I'm shutting you down.
Is that what DBs say?
Oh, yeah. That's some of the polite stuff.
I always wondered.
Hackney, Elamimian was coming. Hackney got rid of it to White. Out of bounds at the 25-yard line, but he got some of that yardage back after the penalty. Bring up third down.
Well, Elamimian blitzed that time right into Hackney's face and threw a tremendous shot just under his chin, and Hackney didn't even notice it. Look, 37, left to your screen. Now look at him hit. And well, Hackney's like, he has to be told that he's been hit because he doesn't feel it.
Great first quarter. Mediocre since. Certainly by his standards. Third down and 4. Hackney. Oh, he's got a man open. Caught by Lance Rhodes. He was wide open. Out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
And he was wide open because of Roddy White. They doubled him to the top, and then they ran Lance behind him. And watch White. He's going to draw coverage. One guy, 2 guys near him. You can't see it quite in that frame. And there it is to the outside.
And at least they're not keeping him in there to block anymore like they were in the first half.
They heard that complaint, huh?
Moving the defensive line next. That's de-evolution.
I think Mac Brown called Watson and said, here's another bowl tip. Keep your first-round draft pick wide receiver out in patterns, not in the block. Play clock at 1. Hackney got it off. And going back across the middle, Rhodes makes the catch, grabbed at the ankles by Ho'ohuli. Of about 6 yards.
You see Lance Rhodes is stepping up because Chavez had the hamstring problem. Again, they're looking for another guy to help him on the outside because of all the attention Roddy White's receiving.
Fifth play of the drive coming up, lasting over a minute, which some people might call lengthy for this game. Although I think this quarter may actually end in less than an hour. Forget that. Another penalty.
Yeah, I think that was Harris on the right side.
He did not start the game. Marcel Binion started the game in right guard.
Second down.
Harris had been the starter, but benched by Watson Brown. Fourth bowl game for June Jones in his 6 years at the helm here in Hawaii.
He's done a tremendous job. They had it going on a few years ago when Dick Tomey was the head coach. Then it took a dip. Since he came over here, he's really brought it back for Hawaii.
They blitz. Hackney. It's picked up. And Roddy White with a nice grab going upstairs to snare it. First down at the 32-yard line. Leonard Peters on the tackle.
Julius Wilson, the right tackle, did a terrific job of coming inside to pick up a rusher and give Hackney time to throw the ball. Now he's right here, 78. Look, he's got no one to block, so he comes inside, he hits Akpan, and that's what allows the extra time.
And Roddy White's having to work hard against Elamimi and pushes him away here. And they're still talking after the play. And that time White had the better of the conversation.
White still has 6 catches, over 100 yards and a touchdown. He's just been covered a lot. Here's Lindsey, lost the ball. Incomplete pass, never had it. At the 26, Kenny Patton broke it up.
That's a good call.
And this is a nice drive.
There's an injured Hawaii player down. Back at the 42-yard line. Louis Funga, Uncle Louis down.
I'll tell you, that's a tough human being, and for him to still be on the ground, it's saying something.
Yeah, he's had 2 medical hardships while he's been in Hawaii. They call him Uncle Louis because he's been around for 6 years, been to all 4 of the June Jones Bowl games, only player on the roster to do that. You know, Trevor, you played in Detroit when June Jones was the coach there.
And Mouse Davis. June Jones was quarterback coach of receivers. Mouse Davis was the offensive coordinator, and they ran that run and shoot. It was very novel in the NFL. Then June Jones took it to Atlanta as head coach and brought in Mouse Davis as his quarterback coach, and threw for an awful lot of yards before he came back here to institute it.
And Mouse Davis is here helping June Jones. Again, he's a special teams coach here, but really helps with the offense. These 2 guys, they are the only true believers of the run and shoot. A lot of other coaches will use a bit of it, but they like to have a tight end. They like to run the ball more, but these guys are true believers in the run and shoot.
Yeah, the reason for that, Rod, is that the conventional wisdom in the NFL is that you have to be able to at some point pound the ball. As we go into this 4th quarter, you would think that Hawaii would transition into a power running game, but they don't really have one. So they will just keep on the pressure of the run and shoot offense. And that's why I think other coaches in the NFL don't want to take that risk.
Bill Walsh used to say that you have to be able to run the football in the 4th quarter to win. And that's always been the Achilles heel of the run and shoot.
But Hawaii does have a 280-pound running back that they can feed if they so choose. Hackney has it complete. Again, Rhodes, who did not have a catch all season, has made a couple here in this game to the 19-yard line.
We'll also keep in mind, though, with that run and shoot, it's not a power running game. But what Mouse and June would tell you is that it's still a running game. Mouse Davis was offensive coordinator in Detroit in Barry Sanders' rookie year. And Barry Sanders lit it up because he was the right running back. You spread the defense out, and then there's a lot of space for a guy like that to run. And that's why Mouse believes that even though naysayers say you can't run, you can.
Meanwhile, UAB's offense is moving down the field as we're under a minute to play in the 3rd quarter. Hackney changing things up. Play clock winding down at 2 now. Hackney Hit from behind, but still completes it. Carl Duncan inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. Kenny Patton on the stop.
How about the group of receivers for UAB stepping up on this drive to help Roddy White? I mean, White is taken out of most of this drive. It's Duncan, it's Rhodes. The other guys are stepping up and making plays while that man, White, is being occupied on the other side of the field.
And as I'm looking at both of those teams moseying down there to get in position, both teams are starting to get tired. This has been a long, long game. We're already 3 1/4 hours into this thing, and both teams, and we're not into the 4th quarter yet.
Roddy White, top of your screen against Elamimian. Let's see what Hackney does here on 1st and goal. Hackney's going to keep it, and Hackney is going to score. Touchdown, UAB. Second rushing touchdown this season for Daryl Hackney.
They get a good double team right at the point of attack onto Tofi, number 95. And that's what leads to a little crevice for the big guy to get in there.
Yeah, but you saw number 55, Watson Ho'ohuli, get in there and try to close that crevice. And that's when Hackney transitioned from quarterback to fullback, put his shoulder down and ran right through the linebacker's block.
So he's played quarterback, he's played guard essentially.
Yep.
And he's played fullback.
Pulling guard, yeah.
Pulling guard. He saw him throw a great block. So he's played at least 3 positions tonight without really moving from the quarterback spot.
I would give him a pineapple.
Extra point is good. 9-play, 80-yard drive. 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And Hackney, a 4-yard rushing touchdown. Speaking of pineapples, Trev salivating in the booth.
Yum, yum.
Back in a moment. Earl Hackney, who barely fits into our shot with a rushing touchdown. 265-pound quarterback at least, with almost 400 yards passing and a touchdown to Roddy White, who's sitting next to him, and then a rushing touchdown as well. And now it's Hawaii's turn on offense. The Warriors still leading by 12 with 21 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Hawaii's had 4 stops in this half. Can UAB get a stop? They're going to need one or force a turnover. Brewster almost stepped out of bounds at the 2. Good balance. Then he gets just pulverized at the 15-yard line by Dominique Cosper.
Now, I don't believe that June Jones will change his style right now. I think they're going to continue to force it and throw the ball. He's not thinking about slowing things down, shortening the game by running the ball. He's going to keep the pedal to the metal.
Well, it's been working. When you score 45 points in 3 quarters, why would you change a single thing?
4 touchdowns, and again, no picks. We talked earlier about the fact that Chang is the all-time leader in NCAA history, not only in passing yards, but in interceptions, but he's cut down on those this year. Only 13 this year, after 42 in 2002 and 2003 combined. Chang getting out of trouble. And how about that attempt? Rivers almost pulled it in. Incomplete, though.
You know, he's the heir apparent to being the rock star in Hawaii. I mean, he went to St. Louis High School, just as Tim Chang did. A lot of expectations heaped on him last season in this bowl game. He had 7 catches for 143 yards as a true freshman. And we saw him at practice yesterday. They list him at 6'1". He looks closer to about 6'3". He looks really talented.
Yeah, normally it's the other way around. They're really 6'1", you list him at 6'3". This guy's taller than they say.
Got a touchdown tonight, and in the Hawaii Bowl last year, Sheraton Hawaii Bowl had 3 touchdowns in that game. Here's Chang, final play of the quarter likely. And then Chang just throwing it away. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter here at the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Tim Chang has had himself a heck of a day. 4 touchdown passes. His team leads by 12. Figuratively speaking, the 4th quarter is won by the Warriors. Literally speaking, the Hawaii Warriors are hoping it's them. We'll see if Daryl Hackney and UAB can do something about that in the final frame.
The 12-point game here in Honolulu as we get set to start the 4th quarter. The whole Warrior theme and mentality no more evident than on the face and the body of Warrior defensive line coach Vance Singletary. Happens to be the nephew of a certain intense football player named Mike Singletary. You see he's got his face painted up there in Warrior colors. He was receiving emails all year requesting from people in the state that he continues to paint his face. He does it for all the home games. He spats his shoes to his ankles. If you see, he's got complete tape job around his shoes and around his ankles. He even tapes up his fingers as well. So he's completely into this game. In fact, guys, he's been known to hold scream sessions during meetings with his players, and then he'll ask a quiet player to stand up and let her rip, saying he wants controlled rage. And this is a great story from last year. One of his players needed to pass an English class to stay eligible. Coach signed up, sat behind the player all semester, became in essence his study partner, helped that student pass with a B. That's good coaching on and off the field.
Did he have face paint on in class? I mean, that would intimidate the teacher.
And I think his uncle, Mike Singletary, was the essence of controlled rage. So mild-mannered off the field, yet so intense and intelligent on it.
I played against Mike Singletary, and I've had guys try to intimidate me many different ways. One guy even tried to bark at me, and I just didn't even notice it. But Singletary's glare, because he wasn't stamping around, it was just purely within him and not for your benefit, was so intense that it was the only one in 12 years in the NFL that made me look twice at it and go, whoa.
Van Singletary sent a couple of guys to the NFL. Travis LeBoy, his second-round pick this year by Tennessee. Isaac Sopoaga, fourth-round pick by San Francisco. Mike Singletary, an assistant coach in the NFL with Baltimore. How about that read by Chang, finding Owens at the 34. About 9 on that play. Cosper on the tackle.
That guy works so hard, Owens does. We watched him at practice yesterday. People talk about Jerry Rice's work ethic, how after every catch, he sprints into the end zone in practice. That guy does the same thing. I mean, he was clearly the hardest working guy on the practice field yesterday, without a doubt.
Day before the game, and every time he was asked to run a route, he ran it 100% game speed.
3rd down and 1. How about this, a running play? And Brewster going to be pretty close, stacked up. Middle linebacker Nigel Eldridge leads the charge. He'll stop the clock for perhaps a measurement.
So this has been a 5-play drive so far, and they've had the ball for less than 2 minutes. That's the kind of thing that gives UAB the opportunity to get quick scores and get back in the ballgame.
You know, football is cyclical. You know, we see so many different things over the course of time. One thing's in, everybody starts doing that, then it changes to something else. Do you guys ever think the run and shoot will resurface in the NFL?
I don't know, just because I think it takes a certain mindset of a coach. You've got to think outside the box, and you've got to be willing to have a high risk and high reward. And I think it would take somebody with the mindset of a June Jones or a Miles Davis, and I don't see anybody out there on the horizon as a coordinator that would do it.
I don't think so. I think there are too many guys who just will view it as hurting your defense, that your defense won't be tough enough against the run and you're going to get pounded. I just don't see it catching on completely. I see it remaining here and there in bits and pieces.
Now, people thought that about the forward pass a few years ago, so we'll see what happens.
Fresh set of downs for Hawaii from its 35. Another inside running play. Brewster ridden down by Zach Woodfin. Let's take a look at our ESPN game track.
Well, what we've seen here is lighting them up on Christmas Eve. Timmy Chang to Chad Owens. And then Chad Owens once again on a punt return. Picks up tremendous blocks, but look at the Mighty Mouse with the different side to side. And then Daryl Hackney runs right through the attempted tackle of a linebacker and points right at everybody at home and says, just one linebacker? Can't stop me.
3 touchdowns for Chad Owens, 2 receiving, 1 on a punt return. And that punt return or a touchdown could be pretty big right now. It's a 12-point game and Brewster is loose. Makes Cosper miss. Another miss. Finally goes down at the 35, a 21-yard run. It's a game that will likely go at least 4 hours. The Sheraton Hawaii Bowl in 2004. Last year's game went to triple overtime. What will happen here in the 4th quarter? Will UAB come back or Hawaii win pulling away? About 1,000 yards total offense between these two schools. Alongside Trevor Maddich, Rod Gilmore, Rob Stone, and our entire ESPN crew, Dave Patch saying Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you and yours. And back on the East Coast, we are getting closer to Christmas Day. Will this game end by then?
All I know is we got to make sure we're not in the air when Santa is in the air.
And here's Ikipi just powering forward. Eldridge on the tackle, but I don't think he's happy about that.
You talk about Santa being in the air. I mean, Pearl Harbor has terrific radar, and as soon as Santa gets close to their airspace heading over to the mainland, they'll know.
Kali'i Ikipi is big enough to dress as Santa. And Eldridge banged up after that, trying to make the tackle. Speaking of Pearl Harbor, it's about 5 or 10 minutes from where we are here today at Aloha Stadium. And the UAB players went out there and visited this week, and obviously it was a very emotional day. None of the players had ever been to Hawaii before, as Komine gets loose and tackled at the 23. Watson Brown, his dad, was in the war and was actually shot down, was flying a fighter plane, was shot down and survived.
Over Germany. And they brought, UAB did a number of boosters, and some of the older ones flew in the South Pacific during World War II, and one of them recognized some of the names as they went through that died at Pearl Harbor, and they knew some of those guys, and tears flowed, and they were unashamed tears.
And Watson Brown as well. It was very emotional for him. He was emotional talking to us about having gone through Pearl Harbor.
His dad has since passed, but survived being shot down during World War II. Chang almost pulled in by Chad Owens. Will Evans on the coverage, and Owens almost made an acrobatic catch.
And Watson Brown said something I thought that was very profound relative to his dad, that when the war started, World War II, his dad hugged his mom, walked 20 miles to enlist. And Watson said to his dad at one point that he didn't know if Watson could do that. And his dad said, if you were there, you would have. And Watson said that when 9/11 hit, he knew what his dad meant.
Yeah, he said that after that, he talked with a lot of players and coaches, and the response was, you could look at Pat Tillman and understand why he did what he did. Here's Brewster on 2nd down and 10, and Brewster's inside the 10 to the 5-yard line.
Now, what did Miles Davis say about running out of the run and shoot?
It's a different kind of running. You don't pile up with 2 tight ends, you spread them out. And you look how wide those guys are. Where are the defenders? There's nobody in the middle of the field. Why? It's the run and shoot. The wide receivers are spread wide. You run with spaces, not with power.
Fourth quarter, they're running the football to burn up the clock and to put more points on the board.
UAB has been unable to stop Hawaii. It was going to come down to who came up with a few stops. Hawaii has.
And I do think there is something to the fatigue.
Northwestern and Michigan State got tired middle of the 3rd quarter, and Hawaii won both of those games to be bowl eligible. But UAB comes up with a big defensive play here as Kali'i Ikipi gets taken down for a 3-yard loss. Larry McSwain, 13 sacks on the year. That's the first time that we have called McSwain's name in a positive manner. He had 2 penalties earlier in the game. That's only the first tackle for McSwain today. And 13 sacks and only 1 pressure in this game, but Wayne Bolt would love to see a lot more, and hard to get to Chang because he does get rid of it quickly and because of the way they protect. 14th play of the drive. Chang's pass caught. Rivers trying to stay in bounds, can't. Bumped out of play at the 4-yard line by Cosper. 3rd down and goal.
Yeah, they've held this ball for over 4 minutes. That's unusual for this Hawaii team. I mean, usually they get it, they throw it, they score. They clearly had a different agenda this drive, and they've been eating up some clock, shortening the game.
Rod, you talk about fatigue starting to become a factor. A lot of UAB defenders now with hands on hips. These defensive linemen have rushed the passer 45 times today. That's much more exhausting than stopping the run.
3rd down and goal. Chang senses the rush and takes off. And Chang is in. Touchdown, Hawaii. Timmy Chang has accounted for 5 touchdowns, 4 passing, now 1 rushing, his 2nd rushing TD of the year. And Hawaii is in control, leading by 18 points. And the PAT coming here from a yacht. (52-33). 6th career rushing touchdown for Chang. He's the NCAA all-time leading passer. Not a bad runner either.
Hawaii's best locations, best beaches, and best deals. Visit starwoodhotels.com/Hawaii for the best online rates guaranteed, or call your travel agent.
One of the reasons we play so well on the road is because we have a team out.
And then what happened?
John Elway drove 98 yards.
She definitely cares about what we eat. Ooh, Miss McNabb, Miss McNabb.
Al, keep driving.
Oh, come on. For away games, she loves giving us Campbell's chunky soup in microwavable bowls. She makes the road feel like home.
Let me hear your battle cry.
Campbell's Chunky. It fills you up right.
Shoot it! Shoot it!
The Nikon D70 Digital SLR is here. Beautiful. The world's fastest digital SLR in its class.
Did you get it?
I never miss. Nikon Digital. If the picture matters, the camera matters.
Hi, I'd like to redeem my credit card mile.
Hawaii, none of the players had ever been to this state. We talked with Watson Brown yesterday, and he said, sure, we want to win the game, but getting here is the biggest moment in our program's history. And they've made the most of being here for about a week.
This is the first bowl game for these guys. Remember, a couple of times they were bowl eligible, didn't get here. Zach Whitman, their fine linebacker, told me getting to this game, as far as he was concerned and a lot of his teammates, it's the next best thing to being in a BCS game. Getting to come to Hawaii and experience things that they probably never would have otherwise.
But you know what, Rob, they didn't experience was too much sun. Now, I played at BYU. We played here 3 out of the 4 years, and every year younger players would sit out on the beach and get completely toasted with sunburn. And not a single UAB player is sunburned. So they've enjoyed the island and they've enjoyed their experience, but they've done a fine job of staying focused on the game. What they've run into is a Timmy Chang, Chad Owens buzzsaw in their last game.
They did have some fun with mopeds. They were out and about on the mopeds.
Well, one player, as Rob Stone told you at the top of our show, got hurt and needs surgery riding in his moped. And then when Coach Brown was walking back one night with his wife from dinner to the hotel, about 30 guys drove by him in driving mopeds. The game not over yet, but running plays probably aren't going to get it done with 9.5 to go, as Burks gets about 3 or 4 yards. They need 3 touchdowns here. Coming up next, Sports Center on ESPN following this game, which is getting ever so close to 4 hours long.
Well, you say that like you're surprised.
No, I'm not surprised at all. Thought it was going to be 5 hours. That's the only thing that's surprising based on the first half.
Still could happen.
Hey, Uncle Louie's back into the game. Louis Funga got hurt earlier and had to leave. Is back in a defensive tackle for Hawaii. That's great to see. He's played in all 4 bowl games. in the June Jones era, only guy on the team. Here they bring Elimimian on the blitz, and he sacks Hackney, along with Tatofi, who's been there twice, but the corner blitz made that happen.
That man has had a great ball game. As I mentioned, this morning, he was on the beach at 7 o'clock in the morning with headphones on, looking at the waves, contemplating his career at Hawaii and facing Roddy White, and he's responded with a big game tonight.
12 career interceptions for the first team all-WAC performer. He's a senior and may find himself at the professional level next year.
Well, he is going to the scouting combine along with Tim Chang and Chad Owens.
12 career picks, a sack, 8 tackles, and a QB pressure in this game. Hackney's pass just a little bit wide of Roddy White. Well, no manners on the coverage. And UAB is going to have to punt the ball. Roddy White, I'm sure, is frustrated. He did have over 100 yards and a touchdown, but I think he'd rather have a win.
He's clearly frustrated. There were times when they couldn't get the ball to him. He's been doubled. There were times when the ball was thrown to other people. He walked away in frustration. Remember, he got a personal and unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for a late shove on Elimimian after good coverage.
But you know what? Look at that score. Score 33 points with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter in a bowl game.
Here's Chad Owens. Flag down. Owens finally down.
So, I mean, the temptation is to say, well, the offense of UAB has not been very effective and they've been frustrated. Well, 33 points through 3.5 quarters in a bowl is pretty darn good. The problem is
the kicker, number 58 on the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty.
The problem is the 52 that Hawaii's put up.
C.J. Allen Jones ran into Parker Mullins. And we'll see if UAB decides to punt again. I don't know. With Chad Owens, you may just want to give them the ball where they got it and decline it. How impressive has Tim Chang been in this game? Chang getting a little bit teary-eyed here in his final regular season. Well, he's got 2 All-Star games coming up, but the final game.
Yeah, you can see it. He's very emotional. He's been through so much here in Hawaii. He said earlier, local hero, high school guy, said no to Washington and California and Utah, stayed at home, had some criticism, but has had a tremendous career.
Here's Owens. It's a block. Flag down. And Owens down as well. And it's been a career that has been up and down, not only statistically, but also with his relationship with June Jones. He's always had a good relationship with him. There's a question whether there's a fumble on the play. But Jones did not think that Chang worked hard enough off the field. Approached him about it several times, sat down with him in the offseason. Chang made the adjustment and matured and has become a much better player this year.
Well, Chang was one of the finest quarterbacks in the country through his first 3 years, and what he learned through June Jones talking to him about those things was that as good as he was, he could be even better if he truly applied himself. And he was so talented, he overpowered defenders. Now he's adding to that talent a better understanding of the game and better preparation.
He's going to have to sit, though, because a rare turnover by Owens, fumbling it on the punt return. Mustaka E. Smith came up with a fumble recovery, so UAB not out of it yet with the ball at the 47-yard line of Hawaii. They need 3 touchdowns. Or 2 touchdowns, 2 two-point conversions, and a field goal to tie. Did you get that?
What?
They pick the blitz up, and Hackney has Drinker inside the 30 to the 27 for about 20 yards.
You talk about a guy who's had a career. How about a guy who's had a night? Tim Chang, touchdown pass after touchdown pass. He's been on the money, and he's even running in for a score. All that made him so emotional. We just saw him on the sideline with tears in his eyes.
Over 400 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and 1 rushing. Hackney in trouble. Elimimian had him, and then Hackney got it away. Incomplete.
Well, Chang accomplished all that tonight and really every game with defenses knowing that Chang was the guy to stop. It's not like a balanced offense where you need to stop a lot of things. If you stop Chang, you stop this offense. And that's not just been in this game. It's been in every game that he's played. And so he has seen every imaginable coverage, blitz, disruption to a quarterback and has overcome them.
And again, I think the fact that he has cut his interceptions almost in half is really something that has pleased Gene Jones, and obviously is going to help Tim Chang in his future as that pass is thrown behind the intended receiver. Rhodes, incomplete. Coming up, Sports Center on ESPN. Neil Everett and Dana Jacobson. Will we have peace on Christmas Day between the Pacers and the Pistons? And don't forget, Shaq and Kobe square off as well on ABC, Lakers and Heat.
Well, Shaq's a square. Kobe's more of a, I don't know, column.
Well, you know, I know Neil Everett has been watching this entire ball game. I mean, this is home for him.
Hackney is also thrown for 400 yards, looking for more. Pass overthrown to Drinkard, so it brings up 4th down, and they'll go for it. Well, Hackney's going to be back. He's a junior from Atlanta, Georgia. And ever since the middle of October, he's been on the radar screen and talking to some NFL scouts the last couple of weeks. They're starting to notice him. Because you've got great junior quarterbacks like Leinart and Rodgers, but now people are starting to talk about Hackney.
Well, Hackney kind of burst on the scene. We had him against TCU on a Friday night, and he threw for 5 touchdown passes.
Hackney's pass picked off. Moreland to the 26-yard line. Andy Galloway on the tackle. And Hackney trying to make something happen there on 4th down. Throws an interception.
Well, he's looking for Carl Duncan up the right sideline. Duncan's going to run up here. Hackney's going to throw it right there. That's miscommunication, and that's why the interception happens.
Well, you see it's just a 3-deep coverage, and Moreland sits down when the ball is in the air. You're absolutely right, Trevor. Miscommunication right into a simple 3-deep coverage.
Only the 8th interception thrown by Darrell Hackney this year. And nobody knows really. Hackney will be back. We don't know about Leinart, Rodgers, what they're going to do. But as you guys sit here and watch Hackney, what are some of the reasons why you think he can succeed next year, lead UAB to a better record, have some success maybe in the NFL? What are some things that hold him back?
Well, I don't know about the NFL yet. The guy, as far as I'm concerned, he's got another year to play at UAB. They're going to have a solid team next year. But he's got to take care of his health. He might want to be a little bit lighter, but, you know, he has had the 3 knee surgeries in the last 4 years, but he's got a big-time arm. He needs to be just a little bit more accurate. But I like his mobility. He's a tough guy. You know, he plays with his heart out. I love him as a quarterback.
No, I do, Rod. And today, his accuracy wasn't there. You're right. However, the accuracy on deep balls is a natural gift of his.
One of the question marks is the height. He's listed at 6'1", 6'2", Hackney, but the coaches were telling us that he's probably not that tall, and what the scouts might think of that. There's a penalty flag down as Brewster is down to the 22. Cosper on the tackle.
But one of the problems with shorter quarterbacks is they tend to be less body mass. They tend to get hurt more often. Hackney doesn't have that problem at all. But I really think that one of the best things that Hackney has going for him is that he's a student of the game. He patterns himself after Peyton Manning. And even Peyton Manning's brother Eli admitted when he was in college that he didn't study or work as hard as Peyton. Eli said, we're 2 different people. Well, Darrell Hackney is trying to be just like Peyton Manning and not Eli, and I think that will really help him because the physical gifts he has got, the work ethic he has got. And Rod, you were dead on accurate that with that knee, he's got to prove to the scouts more than any other single thing that he can stay healthy the entire season.
You see him being somewhat emotional on the sideline. When you come to your final game of the season, whether you're a senior or an underclassman, it's a very tough and emotional thing.
Here's Rivers on the flanker screen, not much, maybe a yard. Darius Taylor made the play on defense for UAB. Well, Peyton Manning is likely this weekend to set the NFL record for most touchdown passes in a season. The guy that Hackney patterns himself after, and you can understand why. And Timmy Chang is coming out of the game. There's his dad, Levi, the red hat, who is involved with orchestrating the commercial breaks and continuity between the field and the truck. A proud papa. What a great career for Timmy Chang at the University of Hawaii.
Been the traveler in the dark, thanks you for your tiny spark. How could he see where to go if you did not twinkle so? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Not bad, guys, not bad. But it looks like last year's model. Have you got any that do more than just make phone calls? Send in the new guys!
Here you go, Pops. Video phone.
Video and picture messaging? This is brilliant. What's the little orange thing?
That's our logo.
Looks like the singular logo to me.
What a coincidence.
This holiday season at Singular, get a great deal on a cool video phone. Capture, save, and send video. The new Singular, raising the bar.
Fresh, made to order. Sonic's got it, others don't. At Sonic, you won't find any microwaves around here, but you will find delicious all-beef burgers served with the freshest ingredients around and made after you order them, the way you like them. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
The Netscape internet service lets me choose if I want to have their unlimited access for just $9.95.
So does NetZero.
And Netscape lets me have Web Accelerator for free with their $9.95 plan. NetZero charges $14.95 for their service with Web Accelerator. What do you get with NetZero?
I'm a Netscape guy.
Right now, Netscape gives you free Web Accelerator to surf up to 5 times faster. NetZero charges $14.95. That's over 50% more. Get Netscape for $9.95, now with free Web Accelerator.
The best shark movie since Jaws is coming to DVD with deleted scenes, bonus featurettes, and 2 audio commentaries.
Oh, God, something's rubbing against my foot.
You may never go in the water again. Open Water, coming to DVD.
ESPN's presentation of the 2004 Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Brought to you by Sheraton Hotels and Resorts. In Hawaii, all the best locations on all the best beaches. And in part by the new Singular, raising the bar.
And when you think of Hawaii, you often think of puka shells, almost as many in that shot as career touchdown passes for a guy that is indigenous to the area, Tim Chang. But Chang is now on the sideline as he plays his final game in a Hawaii Warrior uniform. And I don't know if he'll be the president, but what a night. 4 touchdown passing and 1 rushing touchdown.
Well, he could be governor in Hawaii. I mean, he's had that kind of an impact on this state. You see what he's done in his career. He's had a fabulous college career. I mean, had he done this at some other university, he probably would have won a Heisman Trophy by now.
Jeffrey Rohde is the backup quarterback, and his pass batted down to the line. In fact, June Jones told us had Chang had better games against Boise, Fresno, and UTEP, he might have been in the running for the Heisman Trophy this year.
You're right. I mean, you keep in mind what he's done against Big Ten teams and the like. He had Michigan State and Northwestern in here on national television, and he carved them up. I mean, before this ball game, his last 3 games, he had over 1,100 yards passing against top-flight competition and 14 touchdown passes.
Well, the jersey that he wore when he set the record against Louisiana Tech is now in the College Football Hall of Fame.
Lindsey gonna let this one bounce. And then scoops it up. And thrown down to the 46-yard line. 4 minutes and 46 seconds remaining as the sun sets on Timmy Chang's career at the University of Hawaii and setting on Christmas Eve in Honolulu.
On the joyous days of bowl week, my TV gets to me. Tailbacks are sweeping, quarterbacks are throwing, whistles are blowing, head coaches screaming.
Capital One Bowl Week begins Monday on ESPN. What's under the hood of today's cars? State-of-the-art engines, sophisticated computer technology, drivetrains, electrical systems, hydraulics. Sound good? Then you're ready to live your passion and accelerate your future at Universal Technical Institute. At UTI campuses across the country, you'll get the training you need to launch your career as an automotive or diesel technician. Training that's customized to fit your learning style. And get this, financial aid is available for those who qualify. Our strategic relationships with leading manufacturers means training on all the cars you dream about. Cars like Ford, Audi, Porsche, Volvo, Toyota, Jaguar, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, International, Volkswagen. These manufacturers all come to UTI for skilled technicians. But here's the best part. The demand for trained technicians is huge and will be for years to come. Call UTI today. Live your passion. Accelerate your future. Universal Technical Institute.
Torch lit here in Hawaii and being passed from Tim Chang, the NCAA all-time leading passer, who has 4 touchdown passes tonight. Who will be the quarterback next year at Hawaii? June Jones has a couple of guys in mind. Stay tuned for SportsCenter following this game here on ESPN. Talk about Pistons, Pacers, and Shaq Kobe tomorrow on ESPN and ABC. Also a doubleheader of NFL games on ESPN this weekend. And another bowl game as Capital One Bowl Week starts on Monday. We talked in the beginning about the quarterbacks and the receivers, the 4 stars in this game. Here are 2 of them, Chang and Owens. They have hooked up so many times this year. 15 coming in. Twice more today, 17 touchdown passes from Chang to Owens.
You have to remember, Owens started out as a walk-on, and Chang was a celebrated superstar coming out of high school, yet they combined to have great careers at Hawaii.
And both might be collecting NFL paychecks as Hackney has a man wide open but just overthrows the intended receiver, Lance Rhodes.
The UAB coach Watson Brown was very impressed with Tim Chang and gave him all the credit that he felt that he should have, which is all. But he also said that maybe the best story of this game would be Chad Owens, because he did come in as a walk-on and has risen to the level of a guy that's going to have a shot at making noise at the next level. And who knows, but he may catch a few passes from his college quarterback.
Yeah, and if Chang were the rock star of this place, that man, Chad Owens, was really the heart and soul of this team. I mean, people admired the way he worked, what he did here. He's an outstanding player, father, husband. Tremendous young man.
Here's Corey White picking up a first down. Four minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the 2004 Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. University of Hawaii about to get its 8th win of the season. Along with Trevor Madish, Rod Gilmore, and Rob Stone, I'm Dave Pash, and it's been all Tim Chang. 5 touchdowns, 4 passing, 1 rushing. And Chang will be just one of the stories coming up on SportsCenter next here on ESPN. And Chad Owens, obviously a big story too. And Rod, you talked about his work ethic. Well, the UAB coaches, when they watched film, they said this guy's the leader. Said Chang's a great player, and he is a leader, but Owens is the leader for the University of Hawaii as Drinkard takes it to about the 22.
I think Watson Brown was great in talking about Chang. He said he went out of his way to meet him and have a chance to chat with him and was really impressed with him. And I just think that Watson Brown has been a class act all week long. He's talked about not only his team in Hawaii, but he also talked about the BCS and California and Auburn and how much it bothers him that those 2 teams aren't playing in the games that most people think they ought to be playing.
Watson Brown's had some chances to leave UAB, but he promised his son, who's now at Auburn, that he would not move. He had moved his daughter 3 times previously when he was coaching at other places, but Brown promised his son that he would not leave. And maybe we'll see what happens down the road for Watson Brown, but this is a team that's only been Division 1A for 9 years, and here he is getting UAB to its first bowl game.
Well, one of the things that I think will happen is I don't know how much longer he can wear 2 hats. He's the head football coach and the athletic director, and the only other guy in Division 1A that does that is Barry Alvarez at Wisconsin, and it's really, really hard.
First down from the 16. They run Drinkard. And another knifing play by Ho'ohuli. 8 tackles for Watson Ho'ohuli, playing in his final game in a Hawaii uniform. And the defense for Hawaii has really stepped up here in the second half, giving up only 7 points. And that's not the first nor the last autograph that Tim Chang will reward a fan.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Chang will play in the East-West Shrine game and then in the Hula Bowl. January 15th and January 22nd, respectively. Hackney, touchdown! Lance Rhodes pulls it in.
What a bullet. Rhodes had no choice but to catch that thing.
If he didn't catch it, it would have embedded itself in him.
Hey, watch this thing. This thing is a laser. Right there.
He got his hands in front. That thing was heading right for his sternum. Nice catch by Lance Rhodes. And he's had a good game today.
Well, a great season by UAB. Regardless of what happens here, we still have 2:06 to go. But they've been bowl eligible 2 previous times. This senior class has. They finally get invited this year. And this is a program that won at LSU back in 2000. That was the crowning moment for this program, but not now. This is it. Getting to this bowl game. Watson Brown, a heck of a job at UAB, but his team is down 12 with just over 2 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter of the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl.
It's an NBA Christmas Day special as Shaq's Heat take on Kobe's Lakers. Pistons, Pacers, and Heat Lakers. Christmas Day on ESPN and ABC.
A deadly virus has escaped, and if they want to live, they better go ask Alice.
What's your lucky day?
Mila Jovovich. Resident Evil Apocalypse, the special edition DVD.
Sand painting is practiced by many cultures. Notice how they place the sand, 1 grain at a time. They've been working on this piece for over 8 days. I'm sorry, no pictures, please. Just look at the detail.
Want to get away? Now you can. Go to Southwest.com for Southwest Airlines $39 to $149 internet specials to 59 destinations nationwide. Purchased by January 16.
You are now free to move about the country.
I'd like every single picture of little Jeannie to just disappear completely. Her first step, her first tooth, first bite of real food. Remember that? Peas. It was peas. And corn.
Millions of Americans are just asking for a computer virus. That's why America Online now gives away virus protection to all our members. Absolutely free.
Jeannie who?
Want a better internet? You belong at America Online.
If you think all batteries are the same, consider this. When monitoring a patient after open heart surgery, the brand of battery hospitals trust most is Duracell. Duracell, trusted everywhere.
As virtually promised, we have hit the 4-hour mark in the 2004 Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Over 1,000 yards total offense. Santa's got to get suited up here. We're about 50 minutes or so away from midnight on the East Coast. He's got to get going here.
Don't panic. He's got the reindeer all set up, and the sleigh is high-powered.
Well, I think that's what he's calling him, saying, let's go, Rudolph, and everybody else, get ready here. I got to get out of here.
They've cleared a runway at Hickam Air Force Base near Pearl Harbor for him, so he'll be able to get out in a hurry.
UAB's got to try an onside kick. Got to go 10 yards before it's touched, and I think there's going to be a penalty flag, but it's going to be returned. Britton Komine, touchdown Hawaii. UAB was offside. And Komine returns the onside kick for a touchdown. But before the kick, UAB was offside.
Boy, this stands, we're looking at 59 points. And UAB's got 40 points up on the board. Normally that's enough to win a game handily.
Yeah.
But when you run into Timmy Chang and Chad Owens' last game as Hawaii Warriors, that is the very definition of a buzzsaw.
Encroachment on the kicking team. The penalty is refused. Touchdown.
They had a couple of guys who were offsides there, and then they relaxed a little bit. And Komine, wow, he goes the distance. Now we got 99 points on the board. Number 100 pending. 98.
A yacht on for the extra point. So a penalty on UAB on the onside kick, but it doesn't matter. It's declined. Watson Brown frustrated. And it's a 19-point margin after Komine, who hadn't done a whole lot this game after a pretty good year.
You know what?
The return for a touchdown.
We came to the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl and the Liberty Bowl broke out. You'd expect a score like this from Boise and Louisville. That's a game I'm excited about seeing.
Yep, that's going to be a good one.
3:30 Eastern next Friday, ESPN AutoZone Liberty Bowl. We'll be in Charlotte next Thursday, 1 Eastern, ESPN2 for North Carolina Boston College and the Continental Tire Bowl. Now, Hawaii has a lot to celebrate about. 4 straight wins to end the year. This is a team that was 4-5. It was getting blown out, giving up 69 to Boise, 70 to Fresno. But look at the last 4 games.
And remember, those last 4 games, they had to win all 4 of those games. Well, 3 to get here. They had to win 3. And then this game, the icing on the cake for them. Pretty amazing.
And the last 2 of those games were pretty good Big Ten teams. Northwestern, Michigan State.
They were down in both of those games, and they got down early in this one, 7-0 right off the bat. But Hawaii has been in control for the most part. Even though they only led by 2 at halftime, they outplayed UAB in the first half. Here's Southall on the return. He gets tripped up at the 25, down to the 27. There's Tim Chang with his dad, Levi. There's the red hat, the timeout coordinator for us here. And Jones knows how much Levi means to Timmy.
Well, you know, he said in that home, the Chang home, several years ago, recruiting Timmy Chang, and every promise he made to him came true.
Well, when Timmy Chang came in, when he landed him as a recruit, June Jones knew he had a shot at setting the all-time passing yardage record.
And he broke Ty Detmer's record at home against Louisiana Tech earlier this season. Gave his dad, who was working that game, the game ball. And we'll get a chance to see Chang a couple more times on national TV here on ESPN with the East-West Shrine game and then the Hula Bowl.
You got to be happy for June Jones. He's really turned some things around here. We tend to forget that 3 years ago, June Jones almost did not survive a terrible car accident. But he managed to survive, had some very severe injuries. He doesn't jog anymore because he has some numbness in his legs from that car accident. And there goes the water on him.
Marculus Elliott on the carry out near the 47-yard line as we are about 45 seconds away from the close of this one.
I think they might just be watering his leg.
Can you pour? Should you pour water on those?
It makes him bigger, I guess. Well, he deserved that as a sign of a triumphant season. The season was up, the season was down, but what a way to end it.
We've had a lot of drama, especially in the first 3 quarters in this game. And don't forget tomorrow, 12:30 Eastern, ESPN, Pistons, Pacers, 3 Eastern, Shaq, Kobe on ABC, Heat, Lakers. Be more drama unfolding tomorrow on Christmas Day. But Christmas Eve belongs to Tim Chang and the Hawaii Warriors.
All right. All right.
Great season for Watson Brown and UAB. But this night belongs to Hawaii, the 2004 Sheraton Hawaii Bowl champions. 4 touchdown passes, 1 rushing touchdown for the NCAA's all-time leading passer playing in his final collegiate game, Tim Chang. Thanks for watching the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Our final score, Hawaii wins it over UAB 59-40. SportsCenter is up next on ESPN.
He's got to let someone know, should he stay or should he go? On St. Nick's biggest weekend, Nick Saban has a big decision to make. The latest on the LSU coach and the NFL Dolphins.
This is SportsCenter.
Christmas is upon us, and all through the show, what gifts will old pals exchange now that Jermaine's ready to go? The NFC North battle comes to a head. Jason Varitek's stocking stuffed with green, but still red. The time is upon us. Kris Kringle is back. Out in L.A., they just call him Shaq. He's got a big heart. He's giving it how. It's the most wonderful time of day. SportsCenter starts right now.
Holiday greetings from all of us here at SportsCenter. Decking the halls with Neil Everett. I'm Dana Jacobson.
Vikings hoping not to get decked by the Packers. Green Bay's already in the playoffs. Minnesota win, and they are in. Green Bay beat them earlier this season, 34-31. Brett Favre, just 3-9 career at the Metrodome. Second play, second quarter, scoreless game. Dante Culpepper buying some time. Is he going to run, or is he going to find Randy Moss? He's going to find Randy Moss. Al Harris fell down. That's Harris with the hair. Moss's only catch of the half, 12 yards, 7-0 Vikings. Amon Green tied it. Then the first play from scrimmage after the Packer touchdown. Culpepper to Nate Burleson. Beat man coverage. Amon Carroll didn't make the tackle, 68 yards, 14-7. Burleson, 2 catches, 110 yards in the first half. Still 14-7. The Packers answer. Favre looking for Bubba Franks. Linebackers bite. Frank scores, 22 yards, game tied. But Kelly Campbell with a huge kickoff return, and Culpepper goes to work, calls the screen pass to Michael Bennett. Nick Barnett doesn't make the tackle right there. Bennett goes 38 yards for the score. It was 21-17 at the half, despite the Packers running 41 plays to the Vikings 18. Culpepper 7 for 9, 180 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half. Packers' first possession of the second half. Favre, Javon Walker, 8-play, 89-yard drive, 24-21 Pack, first lead of the ball game. Fourth quarter, game tied. Favre's pass is going to be picked out of midair. It's like grabbing a bullet with your teeth. Chris Claiborne, first interception of the season, and he has reservations for 6. 31-24 Vikings. But the Packers respond. 4th and goal. Favre finds Donald Driver, who had 11 catches for 162 yards. Game tied late in the fourth. Packers get the football back. 33 seconds to go. If some is good, more is better. Favre to Driver again. Over the middle. 18-yard gain. 25 seconds left. Favre under center again. Looking for Javon Walker again. This one is going to go for 31 yards. Missed tackle right there. Ted Cottrell's defense, formerly known as the Purple People Eaters, unable to get it done. 11 plays, 76-yard drive, 95 seconds, ends like this. Packers beat them 34-31 earlier this season, and Packers beat them 34-31 again. Ryan Longwell from 29 yards, and the Packers win the NFC North title for the third year in a row, their third consecutive NFC North title and sixth division championship since 1995. The only other team with as many division titles over that past decade is the Steelers. Kelly Neal caught up afterwards with Donald Driver.
Donald Driver, touchdown today. 4th and goal from the 3.5 minutes left. Tell me what happened on that play.
It was inside route. The guy was holding me off, and Brett made a great throw low, that I can only make, and made a great play on it.
Now, you guys are tied, driving late in the 4th quarter. What was going through the team's head making that final drive?
It was all about making plays. Brett said, put it together, and hold on, suck it up. And every guy sucked it up and drove the ball down to make the winning field goal.
Start the season 1-4, now you win the NFC North. What does that say about this team?
That means it don't say anything until we win the championship. Once we win the Super Bowl, it's pretty much they can say whatever they want to say. But, we're starting off good. We started off slow.